color guy. Come on.
All right. What's going on, guys? It's Dealer here, back again with another RDX podcast. We got a phenomenal panel, phenomenal topics. It's a phenomenal time to be a gamer, unless, of course, you're one of those cynical turds. But, hey, we got to start with some intros. Let some people file into the room. Shout out to everybody who's here early. Cody's Wood. Bud, how you been? Where you been? What you been up to?
I just spent a whole bunch of money today, so I'm like John Travolta in a big wallet going, huh, where'd my money go? It's
Finally
crazy.
upgraded your rig, right?
Yeah, it's time. I've been making videos and doing graphics for about a year and a half, and it's time. I gotta step it up and get some more power.
Yeah, he's doing all that production work on an i5, an old ass i5. So we got him a 16 thread monster to make up the work.
Damn, Cold. Even I have an i7. Wow.
Even Fraud Al Thor has an i7.
Uppercut.
There you go.
We got him a Ryzen, D. We got him a Ryzen. Hey, Randall Thor, thanks for joining us, bud.
Thanks for having me, Dealer Gaming. I'm ready to talk about what we got here. Mega Power Xbox 2 specs leak. Phil Spencer on 2019. Oh, look, we got a bunch of topics to talk about. Awesome.
Yeah, that's.
I know you worked incredibly hard coming up with this topic list.
That's just really weird. I never had anybody like read it in real time like that. So yeah, that's odd. But yeah, we got a ton of great topics, right? You're right. Hey, D, what's going on, bud?
Chilling, man. Hectic day at work, hectic day with the trolls, but I'm ready to go, man.
Hectic day. You're always smacking the shit out of these motherfuckers on Twitter, man.
Oh man, but they're just
hell. All it takes these days is for him to say some stupid shit that's not true or some. I block out of my world. You don't get to say in my world. See ya.
Yeah,
that's how easy it is for me now. So, thanks for joining us again, bud. We've also got So Shady of the Sesh Empire. What's up, bud?
Not much, Dealer. As always, happy to be here. Can't believe it's Tuesday again already, but we're here to talk some games. Big shout out to all the agents of the Sesh Empire and everyone else watching. Thanks for coming out.
And we've got Zalker 87. How you doing, little guy? How you doing, little?
I'll fucking cut you. Yeah, I'm doing good. Doing good. Everybody in the chat, man. We have some badass topics. And you know what? I was just ripped away from God of War to come here and chat with you fine people. And man, that game's blowing my fucking mind right now.
Hey, don't say that because there's a lot of people that watch the show that are just convinced that we say nothing but bad things about Sony and we don't like God of War and because they're idiots and they don't listen to us. They listen to other people who don't listen to us. So
I'm sorry, it's blowing my mind of how bad it is. God.
There we go. There we go.
Is that the one topic right there the Dealer has in the thing? Bad news for Sony? Was that it? Zalker doesn't like God of War?
Not quite yet. Not quite. A lot of Sony guys are actually upset about the bad news for Sony part. We've only got 100 characters to work with here, though. It's not exactly the way I would want to phrase it, but it fits, okay? It's kind of like a puzzle. So we've also got to give shout out to our patron sponsors as well. I think we got a few new ones as well, but that kicks in next month, so we'll definitely be having some more people on here in the list. But we got Gucci Duffel Bag, we got Prime Suspect, we've got Michael Bohm, we've got Channing Pennington, we've got Guillermo Cavillo, we got Lisa Papa, we got Robert Prather, and let me try to get this stupid thing off the screen. That'd be great. And we've also got the Darj Knight. Big shout out to Darj. He just got a PC as well because he runs his own business and stuff. So shout out to all you guys. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. Those are the RDX sponsors. We've also got some game giveaways happening on Patreon as well. Coming up soon, actually in the next week and a half, I should have a big-ass list of games, including the latest and greatest. So check out that list. Patrons. Someone didn't even check it like a month or two ago, and they missed out on a perfectly good copy of, I don't remember what it was. It was a badass game, though. So definitely be checking that kind of stuff because I end up giving it away to someone else. So, yeah, not a notification. Okay, so yeah, guys, Game Awards real quick as we kind of let people file in. We'll get to all the big bad topics. But Game Awards happened since last RDX. A lot of the leaks didn't happen. Norman Reedus ended up looking a little stupid saying that Death Stranding was early 2019. But
tomorrow.
We did get some good stuff, including Far Cry New Dawn, right? I don't know if that's good stuff, actually. I don't know. I'm kind of mixed. It's a $40 title. I love Far Cry 5. I thought it was like an 8.3 to 8.5. Rand, you gave Far Cry 5 a foot job.
A high score. I loved it.
What do you think of it? Yeah, a high score, yeah. What do you think about Far Cry New Dawn?
I honestly don't know, to be honest with you. Like, I didn't really enjoy Primal too much, and this is a non-numbered Far Cry. and I would expect they're just going to reuse the map from 5 so they can turn around really quick.
They said that, yeah.
And it's coming out in a time where there's so much to play. Same day as Crackdown 3 and Jump Force and Dead or Alive 6 and
Jump Force.
right before Anthem and Metro. There's so many games coming out in a short period of time, and it's like, as much as I love Far Cry, I don't know. I find myself getting a little bit not hyped for this one yet. I'll have to wait and see more gameplay, I guess.
I mean, is there a reason that I mean, I know you use primals, and did you see Woolly Mammoth in the background of New Dawn that I didn't see you? I mean, what's the deal here? So because a non-numbered sequel, your faith isn't as high as what you're saying.
Yeah, I think it's a lower. Obviously, it's a $40 game. I don't think as much time went into it as Far Cry 5, so there's not going to be as much stuff or things to do. And to be honest, I'm not feeling the villains. I love Joseph Seed, the villain from Far Cry 5, along with his family. I thought they were very engaging and intriguing. I'm not sold on the bad guys in this one yet.
No.
Shady, you got anything to say about the Wonder Twins?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the bad ladies either. These bad bitches, man. They're coming in there, they're acting all tough. I don't know about you, but unless I had guns on me at the time, I would wreck them. They wouldn't be taking my outpost and my goods. As far as the game goes, I love the Far Cry game loop. Love it. The hunting, the gathering, the skinning of animals, killing guys out in the woods, slitting throats, all of it. I like that stuff. This game has
That's all grinding now, though, Shady. That's all Crown is grinding apparently these days.
That's right.
So.
Oh, I know. But when you're enjoying it, it's a good grind. It's a real good grind. It's got my attention. I mean, the price is right. I like that it's a lot cheaper. I like that the color is just in your face in this game. There's a lot of neon going down, a lot of spray painted stuff, what have you, flower beds everywhere. I'm on board with it, man. It's got that co-op, which is fun. Still going to have the Far Cry game loop. I would say I'm more excited for Rage if we're going to go for post-apocalyptic games, but I'm going to check this one out for sure when it comes out. It's going to have to wait for Crackdown, though.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use my Microsoft rewards points to buy this one. That's what I think I'll do. And I'm really hoping they upgrade the HDR like they did in Odyssey. Odyssey, finally, Ubisoft nailed HDR. They're some of the best in the industry now with Odyssey. Origins, not so much. Odyssey, up another level over Far Cry 5 and Origins. And with all this color in New Dawn, it's going to look insane on the OLED or any HDR display. Colt, what do you got to say about this real quick? $40. You got the Wonder Twins. You got a lot more color. Looks like it's going to be a little more survival-based. What do you think?
I've watched a little bit of the gameplay. I'm actually excited about it. And I think the $40 helps it out. I think it's going to be good. I think it's fun. I mean, like Primal was weird with the fighting mechanics, the spears and stuff, and the bows and arrows. I mean, that's kind of an okay game, but I only got like 20 hours, just ditched it. So I'm one of those that's actually looking forward to this. And it's one of those like Shady. I'll wait till after Crackdown and after Anthem and after whatever else and play it later, I guess.
So you'll never play it. Awesome.
Nope, I will actually. I always go back and grab one of those games like that I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
You know what it is, Dealer? It's I think Rage 2 looks better than Far Cry New Dawn, and Far Cry New Dawn looks a lot like Rage 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they do look similar. I don't think that's deniable unless you're really zooming in on it. But I will say that I had the same outlook for Odyssey. I was like, you just released Assassin's Creed last year. This looks very similar. And then I got skull fucked by Odyssey because it's so amazing. That's how good it is. That's how good it is. I'm sorry. As weird as it is, it's that good. No matter what, some people who haven't even fucking played the game that watch one person say there's microtransactions. Yeah, there's microtransactions, but there are costumes and horses and ships. You don't need any of that. You can play through it and have a blast. Rand didn't grind. I didn't grind. Colt didn't grind. Zalker didn't grind. Lethal Papa didn't grind. We just fucking did what we did. We weren't gated at all. If that game has gating, so does Witcher 3. You got to be certain levels.
It's an RPG. It's an RPG. You're supposed to go around and explore the world and find an area and go clear it out and look for cool loot.
Well, you didn't have to do that. You don't even
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but you don't have to do that. That's my point.
No,
But Witcher 3 also had level gating where you had to be certain levels to be, getting to certain quests. So I'd go and find a level 30-something quest in the first hour or two of Witcher 3 if I really wanted to and be fucked for, like I said, 60 hours. And by their definition, I'm grinding for 60 hours. It just making sense. So I really encourage people to try that game. But my point is, I was really surprised by that game, and I thought it would be kind of a reskin. The same feeling I'm getting from New Dawn. So I'm willing to give it a shot. It comes out February 15th for those that want to know. And like Rand said, that is on the same day as Crackdown 3. I'd say there's room for 2 games in my life on February 15th. That'd be Crackdown 3 and I guess Far Cry New Dawn.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll have to kind of see what's up. Hey, we got to give a shout out to over 400 people already watching this, guys. We do appreciate it. Hit that like button. Share this on Twitter, wherever you share things. That kind of stuff goes a long way for podcasts. We do appreciate it. We do got Obsidian's new game, which is owned by Microsoft now, called The Outer Worlds. And there's some stuff going on around this game people aren't really sure about. We do have an RDX question involving this game, and we'll get to that. But Zalker, Outer Worlds debuted at Game Awards. What are your thoughts on that when you first saw it?
It looked directly like it was going to benefit from the Fallout 76 debacle, to be honest. Like right when I saw it, I was like, man, this is exactly what people wanted. And after like watching and seeing how beautiful it was, how they built that world, you could just see like they just enrich it with lore. It was kind of crazy. I was like, man, this game actually looks really cool. And then I watched the 15-minute like little playthrough that they had. Seemed pretty cool, but again, I felt like they had like little elements of a little too old, like talking to characters, like zooming in on their face. It felt very Bethesda-like, and I don't know if that's what they were aiming for, but it was pretty decently looking, and it really makes me excited for what Obsidian can make. But again, it's just another post-apocalyptic game next to Rage 2 and Far Cry that we just talked about. So it's just like there's so many of them, and to me, it's just the one that I'm more excited for is Rage 2.
Hey, we got to give a shout out to Lethal, Luca, we got Invader, we got Ashtray, all kinds of people in the chat. Shout out to you. Shady just had a heart attack in the background when you said that. What's going on, Shady?
Well, I don't think the game is post-apocalyptic. I think it's a sci-fi game myself. I think it obviously shares like looks, if you will, with some of the mutated beasts that we've come across in past Fallout games, but I think it's a sci-fi game, not post-apocalyptic, so they won't clash there. Also on that Fallout 76, how it could benefit there. I mean, it's got everything that those people were looking for except for the co-op. So if that's what they were looking for out of the Fallout 76, unfortunately, there is no cooperative in this new Outer Worlds. But I think it looks great. Again, the color, man, I thought those Game Awards was just bringing games with in-your-face color. Like color is back, and I'll take it. I like the look of this. I'm a huge sci-fi nut myself. I can't wait to walk around out here and just see what the hell kind of aliens they've cooked up.
That's a good point. It is called The Outer Worlds. So which world is post-apocalyptic? Are all of them post-apocalyptic? Like, did the apocalypse happen on all of them? Yeah. I did forget to mention that we're giving away some codes for EA Access today. I was giving some codes for EA Access to give away here. So I'm going to call on Lethal during some of these questions. He will throw those into the chat for you guys. First come, first serve. There you can have access to Battlefield 5 for 10 hours, play some of the campaign, multiplayer, see if it's your bag, and a bunch of other EA games. So if that's your thing, keep your eye on the chat. I'll be calling on Lethal a couple times during the show, and he'll be dropping some goodness there. Rand, Outer Worlds, real quick.
Yes.
What are your thoughts, boy?
Looks better than I thought it would be. Definitely. I like the first person look. I haven't really been a fan of their Pillar of Eternity style. You know, that Diablo over the kind of pulled back stuff. So I'm interested in seeing how the game performs, number one, and then what they can do with Xbox, because this game is part of published by Private Division, which is Take-Two's indie arm.
Interesting.
And I would like to see what they would do with a bigger budget and what they have cooking up. And people have been wondering, you know, what happens to Outer Worlds if it's a success?
Well, let me stop you there. Shady has a question regarding that.
Oh, a nice segue. There we go.
I do actually by Kosi, and they want to know if Outer Wilds becomes a big franchise. Do we think that Microsoft is going to swoop in and make it Xbox exclusive in the future?
So what are your thoughts there? You think Private Division, Rand, might have publishing rights or sequel rights?
I know they have publishing rights for it.
For the sequel?
Yes. They have the first rights of refusal for the sequel. So if it becomes a big, huge hit.
So they can turn the sequel down, though.
Well, I mean, like, Obsidian may just say, we're not doing a sequel. And then obviously, you know, that like, I would, at some point, the terms would probably expire, just like with Sunset Overdrive, because Microsoft has the first rights of refusal for Sunset Overdrive 2. If it became super big, Microsoft may want to purchase those rights from Take-Two and make the sequel exclusive to Xbox and Windows and stuff. I don't know. But then again, if it's super big, you would think Take-Two would still want it.
Yeah.
So there's going to be definitely an interesting situation brewing, because it could essentially be a one and done game, like where it doesn't get a sequel because Microsoft wants them to work on other things, and Take-Two doesn't want to invest in the franchise because there's a possibility that they won't continue on with the franchise. So what's the point of investing in it? So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens with this title.
Yeah.
Does anyone know what engine it runs on?
Unreal Engine 4, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Unreal.
Kenny in the chat says Obsidian own IP. Microsoft own it's there. It's a Microsoft IP, right? So because they own Obsidian. So it's just that they've got a tricky situation where they started working on this game years ago, before this was even a thought in their head, being owned by Microsoft. 2016.
Yeah.
So they didn't even have an inkling that they'd be owned by Microsoft. They signed a deal to just get some kind of funding to make the game. The game's being published by private division, and as a result, they have first rights to a sequel if they want to make one. This game does insanely well. That means that, Rand, here's another question then. Does that mean that they can decide what platforms it goes on to, but still allow them to have first sequel?
I mean, that's a good question. Maybe Microsoft lets them publish, but then pays them to only have it on Xbox and PC. Who knows what the details on the contracts are, right?
Yeah, because for those who don't know, this Outer Worlds or whatever is a multi-platform game. The deal went down before Microsoft owned Obsidian. It's going to PS4. And this game comes out 2019, so that's very interesting. They may have another project in the work. They have another project in the work as well, though.
They do, because from what I was told, when Microsoft went to visit Obsidian, they showed them the Outer Worlds and a super secret project they were working on. And apparently the people at Microsoft were extremely impressed by that super secret project. That wasn't the Outer Worlds.
It was the same thing with In Exile, right? Wasn't that the same thing? They saw another
Similar,
project
yeah.
announced, and Microsoft wanted that one too. And so it seems like all these developers they've gone have had like this secret project that they're working on, and Microsoft is super intrigued by it and ended up buying them or working with them.
So Microsoft essentially could just be like, we're buying Obsidian to have for first party and RPGs, but we really want their other game, and the Outer Worlds is just a means to an end right now.
Yeah.
Someone just said Pillars of Eternity 3. I think this is something different. I'm not so sure it's another sequel to that. I think it was an experimental project they were working on or something, around Unreal Engine 4 as well or something. I'm not sure, but at the end of the day, I really hope Obsidian kind of go big. This is the most freedom I think they'll ever have when it comes to being a developer. They can do whatever they want. Mikey Barr dropped the hammer. So it's all on them, right?
Indeed.
And at the end of the day, it's good news. We also got an Anthem trailer, which looked pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Anything kind of stick out in your mind there, Shady?
That villain coming to, the voiceover, the narrator turning into the villain at the end, I thought was a really cool twist, and it was nice to see kind of who we're going up against, and it's one of our own turned bad trying to take over this Anthem machine. I think it's a machine. Shit, I don't know. But I'm so on board for this game. That trailer was sending electricity from my head to my toes, man. I watched it 4 or 5 times in a row. I'm hyped, and it's getting close. I wish I got into the beta. I wish people could talk about it without having their libraries deleted on them. But I mean, we're coming.
It signs an NDA, man. You better follow the rules.
That's right. That's right.
Fuck.
Well, I'm not in the beta, so I can say what I heard. And I'm hearing good things about it. Everyone's saying that game, it looks beautiful, looks insane, and they're saying that the performance is pretty good on it too. And when I was watching that trailer, I got the feel of a slight feel of Halo and the feel of what Destiny should have been. Like I don't know, just something about it. I don't know. It just felt complete. I can't put my word.
I think you're talking about like the world building, man, and the lore, because the last couple showing
is fuck with nothing in it, and they're gonna play that clip back of D. It feels complete.
We all felt like Destiny had this massive lore dump that was going to happen, before the game. I remember being really excited about everything that the world was going to offer and getting in, exploring in Destiny, and then it was like, oh, another green orb.
Yeah,
I hope that Anthem's not the same, and I'm hearing good things.
Kenny,
And I hope it's not grindy like Destiny, because that's the one thing I don't like about Destiny. The grinding, like, come on, it's so repetitive.
We've all took a sprinkle a little bit. I don't know. We've done a lot to Destiny over the past year and a half.
David Ritchie says the lore. That's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, they also showed off, a little Ashen trailer and said, "Hey, it's on Game Pass now." I know somebody who released a review impressions on it, and the review, right, Rand? Was that a full review? What was that? You did a review, right?
It was just my.
I did a review. Is that a review?
No, it wasn't. I didn't score the game, but I gave.
Was it a review impressions? Did it say that in the title?
And does say review impressions in the title, and the description does say my thoughts about Ashen after 7 hours of play.
Oh shit!
Rand, the clickbait master.
So Ashen did come out. Obviously, we know it's a review impression. We're fucking with Rand. We do that. So obviously, Ashen came out. Rand has a review impressions out on it, meaning, hey, I got some time in it, and this is what I think so far. Me and Zalker played a little bit of it. It's quality, man. We couldn't really, if you're going in looking for co-op, it's a little sketchy, depending. You got to know what you're doing. There's no invite feature like, hey, just join my lobby. You got to kind of be in the right spot and do something, and then.
Yeah, I mean, I played the whole game in co-op with my buddy.
Yeah, explain to people real quick how they connect with their friends.
So you need to get to a certain point, which is unlocking the first ritual stone in Vagrant's Rest. And once that happens, you can both then go to settings, multiplayer. You enable the multiplayer filter, and then you both input the same code. And then when you leave Vagrant's Rest, because it will never match you together inside Vagrant's Rest. Once you kind of leave and go to another area, after a minute or 30 seconds, your AI partner will disappear, and then there'll be a new person there. And we always just said, "Hey, is that you?" It's like, "Is that you?" Yeah, and we spun around in a circle to make sure it was, us. And then we just played the whole game normally. If you die, you do get desynced though, and you have to do the whole process over with. If you fast travel, you do get desynced, and you got to do the whole thing over. It's not the best implementation of co-op I've ever seen in the game. It's supposed to be more like Journey, where you never know if you're playing with an AI companion or a real person, and
it's fully intentional.
Yeah, it's totally.
And when you look over in the guy's teabag and a dead enemy on the ground, it's a real person. So I don't.
It's dealer gaming.
They're not fooling anybody there for sure. So. Hey, Cole, go ahead, Doc.
No, I was gonna say, me and Dealer were just sinking by just walking 10 feet away from each other. I saw this light. I'm like, "Hey, Dealer, over here." He's just gone. He's like, "I don't know where you are," and I'm just, we couldn't connect for shit in that game.
I just want to ask: is it just me? Or do you guys find that game a little bit hard?
Well, it's supposed to be. Dark Souls light.
It's you and me, D. It's you and me.
It's supposed to be hard. Not as hard as Dark Souls, but similar.
Yeah, because I found it a little bit difficult. I did have a few gripes, and it's not with the game, because I've been looking forward to it, and what I've played so far, it seems pretty good. I got to get back into it. But what I was pissed off about, that it wasn't their day one on PC, and they advertised this game for the longest time as a play anywhere title, and it looks like what's the new store that opened up? Epic Games. Looks like they money hatted the game away to their store. And I was going to do a big story on it, and I had a big rant, and I was about to post it out, and then the developers actually updated saying that it will be coming to Steam, and it will be coming to the Windows PC store at a later date. They're just working out the kinks. But I was a little bit disappointed in Microsoft there. It was advertised for the longest time as a Play Anywhere title, and day one it was just available on the Xbox One X, and I know a lot of PC guys were really pissed off about that.
Well, not too bad, little bitch. Get an Xbox.
Play Red Dead too.
It is going to be cross Play Anywhere as well. So if you play it on your Xbox, you can just pick it up on the Play Anywhere copy, and it'll just sync your save. So I think that's kind of cool. But either way, Colt, you see this new Dragon Age trailer? This teaser?
No, I haven't. I'm not interested.
All right, Brand, did you?
I mean, I saw it. I do think it's interesting that
Are you interested, Rand?
Sure. Yeah, I'm interested. I do like BioWare, and I find it interesting that they're teasing Dragon Age before Anthem's out. Like, hey, you guys who want real Dragon Age Mass Effect stuff, don't worry. We're still working on it. Just enjoy Anthem for now, and you'll get Dragon Age later.
That's what it felt like. Yeah, it's a super tease. I remember hearing something recently that it was still 4 years out. something like that. So it's just kind of
something
a
like that.
reminder that the franchise still exists. It's never really been for me. There's a little too much same-sex goblin action going on there. Sleeping with absolutely everybody. You got no standards in that game. Anything goes when it comes to who you're banging.
I mean, I think it's like you can make the decisions, Shady. You don't have to be you don't have to be like Rand in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And fuck everything to move.
Hey, my Cassandra, she did what she wanted to do. Okay.
She did who she wanted to do.
My team, they don't respect me. They're all over me all the time, no matter what I say. I'm like, all right, guys, come on. I'm flattered, but like, let's just go kill something instead of sleeping.
And then when no one's looking at his save button, all right, yeah, sure. Hey, we got to give a shout out to over 550 people on this live already, guys. Hit that like button. We do appreciate it. Let's try to get up to 300 before the end of the show. That helps us more than you know. And we were back to talking about how Rand fucked everything in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. He's definitely going to do the same thing in Dragon Age. You guys think? I do.
Oh yeah,
he will.
All right.
Oh yeah, we should have a tally for how many he does.
So who Colt do you think is developing this game? Because the Andromeda team, hopefully that doesn't exist anymore. They might have gotten phased into other teams. I don't know. I still can't believe they handed Mass Effect, their most beloved franchise, to a bunch of people who never made a game. I can't believe it to this day, but they did.
What were they doing? Banking on Anthem? I mean, I guess I only thought they had 2 teams, and now
Anthem's the original. Anthem's the original Mass Effect team.
Yeah,
My question is, who do you think is making this new Dragon Age? If Anthem team's going to be busy for a while.
just Casey Hudson probably in his perm. I have no idea.
It'd have to be Austin, wouldn't it?
I don't
Their
know.
Austin team, the guys that did Star Wars MMO.
I think it's probably Casey Hudson and in his perm.
Oh wow.
I don't know.
Each one comes to life. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess this would be a good topic if we had Luca in here because she absolutely loves Dragon Age, and I wasn't a big fan of Inquisition. I felt like the combat was a little grindy in terms of it took 1,000 fucking hits. It felt like to kill anything in that game, but I didn't get super far into it. Maybe that got better, but hopefully this one's kind of a change of pace. But regardless, it is a thing. It is confirmed, and so is Mortal Kombat 11. With 21 Savage over it for some reason. Mortal Kombat 11 CG trailer. That wasn't real gameplay. I can't believe I had to say that to some people. That's coming, Rand.
Indeed it is, and I'm super excited because I love Mortal Kombat. I love Injustice, so I'm down for whatever NetherRealm makes.
Yeah, and Mortal Kombat X is in Game Pass this month, right?
That's a good addition. If you haven't played Mortal Kombat 10, download that. It's extremely gory, but it has an actual story mode. They do the best story mode for a fighter.
They do, yeah.
By far. Yeah. But yeah, I'm super excited, and that trailer was gory.
It was. I hope that type of blood physics is a hint as to what the game is actually going to bring, because that was some liquidy, pure gold in my mind. Woo.
It says rating pending.
Well, you can definitely tell what type of game
to
it's
adult
be.
or go to an M. I don't know.
They're definitely going to bring in the gear stuff from Injustice 2, so you can have different versions of Scorpions and all that type of thing. But I'm excited. April 23rd, another game to add to the beginning of this year. I'm ready.
There are some actual screenshots that are floating around, and the screenshots look close enough to the trailer, so it does look like it's going to be phenomenal.
And it's coming to the Switch as well, so I wonder how that's going to look.
Really?
I'm sure that was Switch footage we saw at the Game Awards.
Is this going to be what is it? Friendalities? What were those ones called? The friendship ones?
Friendships. Those friendships.
It was friendship. Babalities.
Yeah. Was it Mortal Kombat X being in Game Pass feeds into last week's topic where some of these companies use Game Pass as a way to reinvigorate the community of said game because the sequel's about to drop. And here we are again with Mortal Kombat. Just got put into the service and the sequel's dropping in a few months.
Yeah, that's a good point. And they've done that before as well. So, and certain things will be on sale, like the Strange Brigade Season Pass, and then not the real game though. That one on sale, just the Season Pass, and then the game goes into Game Pass.
I know.
So
I'm excited that the Mud Runners is finally coming to Game Pass. I've stopped myself from buying this thing in 10 different sales, thinking it's always about to drop in the pass. It doesn't. It's coming this month. I can't wait to get my shit dirty.
And Dealer, why don't you tell the people how much you love Strange Brigade when you guys were playing in co-op?
I was really tired, but yeah, I was underwhelmed. If I had paid anything for it, I'd have probably shot myself in the face. That's
Zucker.
Oh my gosh!
Like, this game's amazing.
Whatever. They're getting mind blown, and Colt's like, I don't like to complain very much, and I'm over here like, well, I'm a little underwhelmed, and yeah, you guys have fun. I'm gonna kick everything, and you guys can do whatever.
We enjoyed ourselves.
We had a good time playing together.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun game. It's cool.
You know,
it's
actually
creative.
being able to play with your buddies is actually pretty nice, unlike Ashen. But, you know, it was just a good time. Man. That's all we wanted to do, was just have a good time. And we did. You know, Dealer was just running around karate kicking zombies in the face. He was getting shot by us more than the zombies. It was great.
Yeah, we got some achievements. It was a good time.
Zocker, what did you think about some of the awards handed out at the Game Awards? And trust me, people, we do have some other fucking topics, I promise. But we do have to cover the basics here, and we're going a little long on some of these. But the awards for Game of the Year and all that crap, Forza Horizon 4 won essentially what is the best sports game, correct? Red Dead 3 won 3 awards. God of War won 3 awards, but one of those is including Game of the Year. What are your thoughts on that initially, and then since then picking up God of War and finally giving it a fucking chance? What's your round? Just round it all up.
I'd say, you know, obviously Forza Horizon deserves it. That game is just fucking amazing. As for Game of the Year, I think you're gonna agree with me, Dealer. I don't know. I think Odyssey should have won, but that's just personal. But after playing God of War for the last couple of days and putting a lot of hours into it, I have to say that it's well deserving. I didn't even think that Red Dead was the 3rd or 4th best game this year. So I'm happy God of War won. It's such a good game, and it's been blowing my mind for like the last 2 days. And man, it's just good. It's deservedly so, because the gameplay matches the quality of what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I would say I'd had to choose between God of War and Odyssey this year, and it's a hard choice for me because they're so good in different ways. And the people that just freaked out when we said, oh, we would choose Odyssey or it would be right up there for us are probably the people that tried to get to Act 7 at level 24, or they just never played the game and listened to someone else. It's really that good, and God of War is insane as well. So, Shady, I know you were extremely happy with this outcome. Go ahead and give us a little mini rant.
I was ecstatic, man. I'm not going to hide or try to sugarcoat it. I was fucking triggered, son. I lost my mind when that fucking game won. Not that the game isn't quality. I have played it. I put in about 10, 12 hours. I enjoyed it. I liked it. But the X-bot in me, man, it was offended. It was affronted, goddammit. I think Red Dead should have won myself. That's beside the point. I was upset. But, I mean, hey, that was spur of the moment. I've calmed down since then. The game is good. It's quality and does deserve to win Game of the Year.
Read it, boy.
Yeah. Wow, Colt was up on his mic on that one. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was good.
Hey, Colt, Rage 2, May 14th.
Oh, yeah, that looks awesome. It looks so fun. It's not just, it's got, you have kind of superpowers. You can like do kinetic blast on people and lift them up and shoot them in the air, and explosive. You know, it's all open world. You get in the buggy, you can shoot from the buggy. Oh my gosh, it looks fun. I think it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be a big 8 out of 10 at least.
Yeah,
Philosopher Doom in the chat. Red Dead Game of the Year. I remember. I gotta give a shout out to Philosopher Doom. Last time we played, I ended up dominating him some fight night. I got to bring it out. I'm sorry. It was a good match. It was a good match. We had a good.
Did you let him get one win at least? I mean, you got to be nice.
I think he might have. I think we played like 3 rounds. I think, but it was fun as hell, man. Like people forget. Like I use Fight Night footage in one of my big videos, and like, what's that boxing game? And I'm like, that's Fight Night. Yeah, you can play that on Xbox. It's pretty.
And
cool.
It looks current. When I saw it on your video, it actually does look like a current game.
It looks really, really good. But yeah,
Rage 2 is the business. It looks cool. It looks like a good one.
Yep, and there was a big giant reveal. Jeff Keighley tried to pull a Rocksteady, and everything went dark, and the power went out, and then the screen popped on. It was a fucking Persona 5 character in the Smash Brothers. Jesus Christ!
No, my mind was blown at how underwhelming that fucking segment was. Damn.
No, I thought it was a fucking Crap said it earlier, like last week or something. I literally thought it was like the Joker from the DC comics. I was like, who the fuck? What?
I thought it was
Joker.
I thought it was going to be a Suicide Squad reveal, and I got a lot of comments on my Video Game Awards video for not. Why didn't you talk about Persona going into Super Smash Brothers? I'm like, I don't know.
They
it's
don't
hard
care.
for me
Most
to-
people don't care. The game sold like a couple million copies on 160 million consoles. I mean,
It's a
you
cult
remember it
hit.
was on the PS3 as well. Like statistically, most people just don't care or know who that character is. I'm sure it's massive for Persona fans. That no
It's a
one's
cult
taking
hit.
anything away from that, but you know, it is what it is. Randall,
It is.
I don't know.
I don't know,
I didn't
Rand.
care
Go ahead and
about
add something here.
I don't really have anything to add. I don't have
know
never
you
played
love Persona
Persona.
5. Come on.
So I don't have anything to say to add to this discussion. I don't care about Smash Brothers and I don't care about Persona. So
Thank you, Rand.
Oh
It's-
shit!
yeah, it's hard for me to act. I don't act excited about something I'm not excited about. I leave it out of my video if I'm not excited. I'm sorry. That's just I'm a biased mother trucker.
I will say, Persona does interest me more than Smash Brothers. Nintendo just whatever they do, I just don't care. They're irrelevant to
You
me.
didn't have fun on Smash Brothers on the 64 at the very
Smash
least.
is trash, dude.
I'm with Rand. I love fighters. I cannot.
Hashtag Smash is trash.
Yeah,
I've
I
got
never-
that new one in my house.
You heard it here first. Rand's going to war with Nintendo.
I actually own it, and I've been playing it for quite a while. It is trash. It's very basic. It's really, I don't know. I understand that the Persona character Joker, he's big for the families, but I just can't get into it. I just really can't.
People love that game like crazy. The Smash Brothers game. They have so much fun. They play it for hours together, all on one screen. But you know, I guess we're just.
I think it's losing some of its appeal because, like, even the kids, I said, "You guys want to play it?" They didn't want to play it at all. I was really surprised by that.
They're like,
I mean, it's the most ambitious crossover ever. When Reggie said that at the Game Awards, I literally felt like the Russo brothers were going to come and roundhouse kick him off the stage. Be like, Avengers, bitch. Like, I was just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, that's cool. You know, I find it funny. People talk about just another Gears 5 next year, just another Gears of War. Nintendo hasn't made a new IP in 5 billion years aside from like Splatoon. You know, like they literally make the same
Splatoon and ARMS
games over and over, and they make the same games over and over all generation, and then the next generation it's rebooted again.
And they do extremely well at recycling those 5 franchises, and those games are always highly rated. People love them. Some people just I just don't really. I'm not into those Nintendo games anymore. I just feel like it's reverting back to a long time ago for me. But it doesn't.
Well,
matter.
to their credit, they do kind of reinvent Mario. Now he throws a hat. Now Mario has a squirt pack on his back. You know, like
I mean, we're coming up.
Reinvent them every time.
Yeah, we're coming up on the 5th mainline Gears game, and it looks freaking awesome.
It looks nuts.
Yeah, and I mean, look at God of War. This is their 13th game.
Yep.
They totally changed the entire formula
Hang
from
on,
all of the
people calling you out because they don't know how to Google stuff.
Yeah,
Explain
not
that number.
there's a couple of PSP and what do you call them? I think it was a Vita game or something. Anyway,
There's remasters, there's ports to different systems. There's God of War 1, 2, 3. There's 2018. There's Ascension.
Yeah, I said the same thing for Halo. I counted the top-down Halo games, like the little, I can't remember what it's called. Randall, say it for me. The little cheap one that came out like 4 years
Spartan Assault.
Yeah, Spartan Assault. Like I counted those in my Halo milked franchises. But the point I was trying to get at is there's a lot of God of War games. They totally flipped the formula. It freaking worked for them. The game's amazing. It's a totally different perspective, and it won over Game of the Year. So, yeah, you can have these games as many times as you want, and they're still great.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's very true. And you know what else is also true is Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo were shared the stage for the first time ever, apparently. Phil Spencer in 4K. You had Sean Layden over there in 1080p, and you had Reggie Fils-Aimé in 480i.
Nice. Accurate.
Yep. And I don't know. I mean, I didn't think it was all that. I felt like, do you guys, I mean, and I get that people say kumbaya, but at the end of the day, they don't care where you play as long as you're playing it. Software makes money, not hardware. But do any of you feel like it's a little too kumbaya-y? Maybe there should be some more competition-y?
Maybe. At the same time, I think what they showed upstage was, I don't know, just for show. They didn't announce anything. I thought they were going to say, we're going to start playing nice with each other and open up crossplay or cross progression or just get into a fucking no-holds-barred pit fight on stage. Nothing. We got nothing. I was upset. I mean, it was hollow for me. It was nice to see, nice pick opportunity, but it didn't do anything for me as a gamer.
Here's what I noticed from those three on stage, and I think Rand might agree with me, is I was looking at Phil Spencer, and he's thinking, these two guys aren't really our competition. And I know that Sony looks at Xbox and goes, they're not our competition. And Reggie looks at those guys and go, no, they're all doing their own thing, their own way. And like, they're not like direct competitors. If you look at the way that they approach the gaming scene, especially the way Microsoft's changing lately. And we'll talk about that later, but like Microsoft's really competing with some bigger companies right now.
Personally, I thought it was like a wasted opportunity. I think they should have announced crossplay. I thought that would have been epic. That would have been so huge. And they said, yeah, crossplay is coming amongst 80% of our games. You know, we're working on making this final within the next year or so, or whatever, something to that effect. It would have been a huge moment for gaming. I think all of them getting together and not really saying anything was a huge wasted opportunity in my opinion.
Yeah, but
they had to get rid of. Go ahead,
I was going to say that's Sony's announcement to make. Sony's not gonna feel pressured into doing anything and announcing crossplay at Jeff Keighley's awards show. If Sony ever does announce it, it'll be on their own time with their own PR spin around it. This was just a favor done by the three guys to Jeff. That's it.
It was. And Phil said that also. And to announce crossplay, you needed to get rid of Sean Layden, and then maybe something like that might have been fucking announced, but it wasn't. So there we go.
It was a cool moment.
It was all right, but
Hey, I'm a little confused here. I don't know if they changed Super Chat or if somebody just donated $109.
No. He's from Stockholm.
Okay, so I've never gotten something from Stockholm before. So
I think it translates to about 19.
We do appreciate it, brother. We do appreciate it, man. I've never seen. Usually, it's the pound symbol or the dollar symbol. So somebody in the chat said $109. I was like, no, I don't think that's the case. So I figured I'd ask somebody who knew. But we do appreciate it, brother. Yes.
He says greetings from Stockholm.
Greetings from Stockholm.
What time is it over there, bud? Let us know in the chat.
Well, it's like cool. 3 a.m. or so.
Dealer's got like the world clock on his desk. Let me
we get messages from people like in Nigeria and like all kinds of places.
Yeah, it's cool. Really cool.
We've heard all the time zones. So
at a glance, that SEK looks like sex for $109, like he's propositioning us.
The prices are a little too high, sir. Hey, Shady, we got a RDX question coming up right now, and then Lethal, get that first code ready, bud. We're gonna drop some EA access down in the chat for the good people watching. Shout out to 600 people watching this live, guys. We do appreciate it. Let's try to get the 300 likes for the end of the show. Just look down below the title and just a little button pressing that little thumbs up. We do appreciate it. So go ahead with the question, Shady.
All right, this one is from John at JNY Virtuose on Twitter, and he wants to know, hey, dealer, on RDX in the early days, you were pretty hyped about Fortnite. Did you ever think that it was going to be a monstrous game hit that it is today?
Man, John is a veteran of the podcast because that was back, like we had the original panel all day, Luca, Fonz, me, and Colt. And man, we were talking about Fortnite because we had been keeping up with it since 2011. We were like, wow, that game looks really cool. It's doing something a little different. It's Minecraft, but in Unreal Engine 4 with
you guys,
the combat that we want, you know?
And you guys played it with a special guest one night with Fonz, I remember.
I think this is before then, because when Fortnite came out, we found out that even after 5-6 years in development, there was still not much. This is before Battle Royale. Keep in mind, this Fortnite was not what it is today. Right. So we were playing the Defend the Atlas over and over, and that stuff got really old. But that is a really good question. I never, ever thought in a billion years it could just copy a game mode and become what it is, and that's all credit due to Epic for being as fast and responsive and reactive as they are. It's nuts. So great question. We're going to drop the first code for EA Access down in the chat. Lethal, go ahead and drop that now, brother. Keep your eyes out. He'll drop that code down. First come, first serve. Like I said, play Battlefield 5 and more, and you'll have access to the entire EA Vault as well. Yeah, good stuff, man. And speaking of Fortnite, apparently we were all just a bunch of fucking losers and nerds before Drake and Ninja made gaming cool.
God, I actually saw that today on Everyday Struggle.
What are your thoughts there, D?
I don't know where.
Explain to people what I'm even talking about, for one.
Okay, so it was on Everyday Struggle. It's like a hip hop debate show, and they talk about all the popular topics in pop culture, mostly hip hop. And they were talking about Ninja and Drake, and how I guess Ninja did an interview, and Ninja said, Drake, coming in and doing the streaming with Fortnite brought gaming to the forefront and made it more popular. Gaming, first of all, has always been fucking popular. And honestly, to tell you, I've been a hip hop head, I think, since I came out, and gaming has been huge in the hip hop community. So I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Gaming is mainstream. Gaming makes more money than the movies. What the hell are these guys talking about?
Honestly.
Well, that's what happens, D, when you have a bunch of casuals. And Lethal dropped that code for EA Access, by the way. Check the chat. That's what happened when you have a bunch of casuals talking about gaming, something they don't really understand.
I think that's what's happened. I think that's what's happened. Is that your average bear? Sorry, D, go ahead. I'll wait.
No, I was just gonna say, to be fair, DJ Academics is a gamer, and he is supporting the Xbox brand right now. He's got a show, but at the same time, I think he's a little bit out of touch because that's just not reality. Sorry, go ahead, Shady.
No, I agree. I was going to say gaming is huge for those people that are looking for it, but the people that aren't necessarily into it, having Drake and Ninja blow up like he did, but really, I think it was Fortnite that really put gaming on the map this year, not those two clowns playing it, but I think it did help expose it to other people that might not have given gaming a second thought, to be honest. So there's a little bit of truth there, but I think it's exaggerated, to be honest.
I just think it's everywhere, and it's in everyone's face. Like even in an NBA, NFL, when a player scores a football, like a touchdown, they just start doing Fortnite dances. Juju Smith-Schuster of the Steelers, that wide receiver, he's a huge geek. He has a YouTube channel. He like loves all gaming, and there's like a bunch of them. He does like Hadouken, like he does a bunch of shit, and it's like just everywhere, and it's in everybody's faces. And a lot of these old school people that are watching them are like, "What the fuck are they doing?" And they just go look it up, and then that's what they see is gaming and this whole culture that they've really been blind to, and it's just gotten bigger with Drake and Ninja and everything, and how big Twitch is. I mean, I don't think they're saying that Ninja and Drake made it big. I just think, like in general, that it's gotten so big that everybody's starting to know about what gaming is.
Nah, the quote's literally like Drake made gaming more mainstream.
Oh, is that what? So they're just claiming that Drake and Ninja just straight up made gaming like what it is.
I mean, here, I'll read you the actual quote.
Please do.
It says, in a recent interview, Ninja said, and I quote, "Drake, that is what pushed gaming into the mainstream and made it cool."
Wow.
So
we were all
he's
losers
basically
before.
saying before Drake, there's like, before and after Drake. Before Drake, nobody played games, nobody cared. There's after Drake.
I'll tell you exactly what happened. This guy was feeling himself because Drake came on his stream and he feels relevant, and I think that's why he said that comment, but it's off.
So that was bitch ass Ninja who said that. And he makes a living off of games,
Fortnite?
and he's saying that Drake came in and pushed it into the mainstream. For one, it's already the biggest form of entertainment, makes the most money. Red Dead just crushed every record in the universe. It's where it's at. And if you're not in gaming, if you're not thinking about getting into gaming, you might want to consider it because it is the future.
Look, I made a video about this, and I don't know if I'm gonna release it, so
Just do it.
I'll just say what I kind of said in that video. Ninja was born in '91, if I'm not mistaken, right? Extremely young dude.
Jeez.
You know how big Super Mario Brothers was back in the early '90s? So big they made a movie about it back in 1993.
The movie, like, oh my god.
I know.
Working on a new movie.
Showed that footage.
Ninja was only 2 years old. He might not remember that, right? Let's go to more recent time. Does anybody remember the Pokemon Go craze of a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Where the people were going out on their street corners and trying to collect Pokemon? That was huge. That hit the mainstream.
And they were getting
Go a
stabbed.
little bit.
They were getting robbed.
They were
And
getting
what's-
hit by cars. They were getting
Yeah,
stabbed.
let's go a little bit before that. Does any of you guys remember the Nintendo Wii? The Wii was actually selling to grandmas and grandpas and parents with this whole Wiimote thing. The idea that gaming is now mainstream because of Drake is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. But obviously, it's a little bit self-promotion from Ninja. That's all what he's about. He's promoting himself. He's promoting his stream. I will say he's right in the sense that Fortnite became big, at least bigger after Drake.
It was already huge before that moment when Drake got on the stream with him. Remember,
But if you
it was
actually
already the biggest
look
game
at
of the year at that time before Drake even like popped in that stream.
right,
It
but
did, it did get a huge spike though.
But
Yeah,
it was,
of course.
if you look at the Google Analytics of search, like right after that whole Drake thing went into the stratosphere. Like
Have you
there's no denying that Drake doing that had an impact.
But either
But it had
way,
an impact on
gaming-
Fortnite.
Gaming was already in the right there in everyone's faces. Drake didn't push it in the mainstream or nothing. It was already mainstream. You know, it was already making more money than all these movies. And you know, if gaming isn't mainstream, no movie is mainstream. Sorry,
Well,
Yeah,
and
the-
you can
the
just
whole-
look at the
Drake isn't
money
mainstream if
made.
gaming's not mainstream.
You can just look at the money made. I mean, movie theaters are trying to get people to go to the movies. Like they're doing everything they can because they're actually losing money every year. And gaming is one of the biggest growing like industries in the world. It's making more money every year.
Yeah, Pistol Tech Time in the chat says, if anything, Drake brought Ninja to the people, not the.
I would say so.
Around.
There's always people that will hate gaming. There's always those people that'd be like, "Ew, you spend 4 hours a night playing games," and you ask them what they do, and they're like, "Well, I watch 4 hours of Netflix." Is that any better? Like,
watched.
And I think gaming is going to get even more popular. I don't know if this is a topic on our list. I didn't get to look at the list yet. I'm sorry, but the streaming aspect of it, I think in the next 2 years, streaming is going to be huge for gaming, where everybody has access to it, and not just like little crappy cell phone games, like real games. I think gaming is just going to get bigger and bigger.
You hear cell phone people? D just said all your games are trash.
Well, would you guys? I got a question for you. Then, would you guys say that mobile gaming made gaming more mainstream?
Yeah,
because it reached older people like women, men, everything, and kids.
Candy Crush, definitely.
It did help because it opened the door for them, and then they want to explore more. It's all together, honestly.
So you're saying mobile gaming is like marijuana, where it kind of opens the door, and the console gaming is like
your
heroin
personal
and coke.
Experiences to yourself, sir.
That's all legal up here. There's no drugs up here.
He's saying like, hey, like it opens up, it's the gateway drug.
The gateway, yes, we get it. Yeah.
Well, especially for my girlfriend. My girlfriend's not a huge gamer, and then she started playing some of these games on the phone, and then she started getting up to better games, and then starting to get into the console games a bit. So I honestly believe that.
Yeah.
So Lady Foxfire has a fantastic fucking point. She says the keyword was cool, not just mainstream, meaning we're all just fucking nerds.
Yeah, good point.
She just crushed everybody.
Except Ninja's not cool. He's cringe.
Oh man.
Brand's
you have a message from Weaver Brand 91.
You know who's cool though? You know who's cool? Shady knows who's cool. That's the one and only Doctor. Come on, finish it up for me, Shady.
When I saw him on that stage with that blue hair for a middle-aged man, I was like, what the hell, man?
Shady has a mad crush on Dr. Disrespect.
I do, but I would dye my hair any fucking color if I was making 6 figures a month to play Fortnite. Damn, that is some serious cake that dude's bringing.
You know what is mainstream, and what's about to be mainstream is these damn microtransactions to the people in Street Fighter.
Oh,
everyone's going to be seeing these ads pop up in Street Fighter, and we've got some information regarding. Well, this is kind of a thing. Even some of the Sony guys are actually keeping it real and speaking out against this. I'll say it's not entirely Sony's fault. I would say it's more Capcom's fault, but they do have a deal with Capcom, and I don't know the what's going on there, but. Regardless, Shady, kind of give the people the details on this whole Street Fighter debacle that some people are pretty upset about.
That's right. This is regards to Street Fighter V, PlayStation exclusive, and they are implementing today, I believe, or it's next week, in-game advertising only for in-game items, at least. So you're not going to be seeing like commercials for fucking Schick Razor or something like that in between matches. Not yet. But in between matches during the load screens, as well as in the background in the fighting arenas and on your characters' costumes, are advertisements for their DLC characters, costumes, and tournaments that they have. You can turn that option off and not watch them at all or see that stuff at all, but you lose out on a whole bunch of bonus currency and actually lose out on the ability to unlock certain costumes as well. That you need to be getting this ad currency that they give you for sitting through the stuff. They said it doesn't impact the gameplay, just the visuals. I mean, Ken and Ryu have like Street Fighter Pro tournament stickers on their gis and on their gloves and stuff like that. Like it stands out.
Let me ask you this, like it did in the party. You think you want to? So what happens if advertisers come and say, maybe we stick some, maybe a little Tide Pods vinyl on their gloves? What do you think? You think they're going to start taking money to put on like DiGiorno pizza on the back of Ken's fucking jacket?
Yeah, to be honest, I could honestly see that happening. This is the door getting cracked open a bit and seeing how people react. And if the pitchforks aren't out, flamed up and ready to jab these bastards, that's coming. I think that's coming, where during load screens, you're going to be sitting through the equivalent of like a YouTube advertisement in games that we have already paid full price for. Like, if there's some way to make a stance, it's now, people. We got to get mad and tell them no.
Remember, they take an inch. You let them take an inch, they take a mile. And that's generally how it works in this industry. So Could be.
Yeah, and it reminds me of like the mobile games, like the free ones, where you like watch a 20-second advertisement to get like the certain currency to buy something. They're like, yeah, I've seen people like girls or something that sitting there, they'll just have their phone on watching like 10 videos in an app. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And they're like, well, I get like all this currency if I watch these videos, and then I can buy this trolley for my fucking farm. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what? That's literally what this reminds me of. You're going to see fucking Ryu, whoever, have $4.99 chicken nuggets from Burger King on his testicles on his shorts while he's kicking someone's ass.
Oh,
it's
wow.
like, what the fuck are we doing?
How descriptive and in depth.
So why am I hearing so many people say that Forza Horizon is littered with ads in the game? Am I missing it?
It has advertisements for like Michelin and stuff like that. Like they're there, but I remember there was
like performance parts that are actually in the game.
Yeah, like I remember there was a time where the community reacted positively when there was real world advertising in their game. It was kind of like, hey, neat, that's a real cologne, as opposed to some made up stuff. And it's gotten to the point where it's now in your face so much. I think we're tired of just being advertised.
So hang on, you're playing a racing game, and Michelin tires is in the game, and there's an ad for it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like what do you mean an ad? Like I feel like the way people stretch this stuff, it could be literally on the side of the start, as a banner. Like, hey, this.
No. I mean, I've played. I don't know. I have like over 200, 300 hours in Forza Horizon 3, and I don't remember ads in the game. I don't know why. Rand, do you know about this?
It's product placement.
Know about what?
What they're talking
about product ads being in the world of Forza Horizon 3. I know they're not in the menus or anything like that, but I'm wondering, are they on billboards and I just don't see them?
I haven't seen any, but I mean, I haven't really played it that much recently, so I'm not sure.
I just searched it and someone said that they got an update this is an old forum. They got an update in Forza Horizon 3, and there's an ad video that pops up to play Forza Motorsport 7. I'm like, that's not.
I just played Forza 7 the other day, and that was not the case.
Yeah. So there must have been somebody in the chat just regurgitating some crap they heard from someone.
They're playing the demo, and then at the end of the demo, it's like, and there's this too, thanks. And they're like, there's ads.
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to two people in the super chat here. Wraith God says Xbox Live Gold blew up the world. Yeah, I would say that had a much bigger impact on gaming, that online community and that reputation than Drake would with Fortnite, honestly. And Sir X-Man wants to know why PUBG runs so much better on a fucking cell phone than it does on the Xbox. What's going on?
It's a good question. I haven't played the mobile version. Does anybody know?
We know it runs good. We know it runs much better.
Right. Do we know how it runs on the PS4 now?
Z-Batch.
I think from what I've heard on the PS4, I'm pretty sure it's 1440p, 30 frames per second.
And it's actually a stable frame rate, but so is the X now too. I watched a comparison.
Yep.
Yeah, only took a year. Awesome.
Yeah. So the PS4 comes out day one. The performance is basically like the X, but at a lower resolution. But this Sir X-Men in the super chat, shout out to you, bud. He's talking about the mobile version. I mean, those runs so much better.
Yeah, they do.
On a mobile chip, but keep in mind they're running at a fraction of the resolution. They pull little tricks off. It's like the Switch. It looks really good on the Switch. Yeah, it's running at as low as 600p and low settings.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a really, really good question, though. It's one of those things where they didn't really handle that correctly, and most of PUBG's life on the Xbox was spent in preview programs. So
PUBG's done, man. You got Call of Duty doing PUBG more than PUBG. You got Battlefield coming out with their own battle royale mode, and you're going to be able to do it with tanks and all kinds of stuff. It's done, and Fortnite's just a lot more fun. Honestly, to tell you, Fortnite's just way better. I don't see how people are still playing PUBG. No offense to the developers, I know they probably tried to work hard on it, but it's a dub, man.
Yeah, and Counter-Strike went free to play. The biggest game on Steam, Counter-Strike, went free to play, and they just brought out a battle royale mode too.
Yes, that's right. I just downloaded it.
Yeah, they just got that going for them too. So PUBG's getting a lot of competition, and a year later, it shows like how big of a year can be. The difference is that PUBG's just irrelevant now. Like I haven't played it since Call of Duty.
Well, does anyone else got anything to add?
Nope.
To the Fortnite, not the Fortnite, the Street Fighter random ads in the game.
I was just gonna say, I remember playing Rainbow Six Vegas on the 360, and they had changed out the movie posters in one of the levels to the new Assassin's Creed game that was launching like in 2 weeks. And I thought that was really cool. It's super subtle. I'm not waiting through anything. I'm not forced to watch anything. It just happens when I run by the theater. There's an Assassin's Creed poster up, as opposed to whatever it was before, in-game ad or whatever other advertising they were funneling through it. Like I'm fine with advertising when it's done similar to that. Like, I don't feel bombarded when I'm walking down the street and I see a billboard. I'm not affronted by that. It's a thing. I'm fine with it. But if I'm having to watch commercials through my load screens, or all of a sudden they're put into a game that they weren't there before, like Street Fighter, there's some issues. And this is a slippery slope, people. Don't forget, like Dealer brought up, next thing you know, we got fucking DiGiorno ads and Schick Razor ads and everything else coming in.
Just as opposed to, you're not saying that there's commercials in the load screens. You're just using that as an example.
No, they said during the load screens of the fighting game, which doesn't affect the time it takes to load. They just have like a picture up of the different DLC skins you could buy or the upcoming tournament. And that's what's on the characters' skins and in the backgrounds as well. It's all in-game advertising only for now. But like you said, until one of these companies comes up and offers a handful of cash, I mean, things could change pretty quick.
Cool. Rocket League does that.
No, I think we smacked it into the ground pretty good.
Well, I mean, they did.
Okay, you didn't, Dealer. You didn't smack it in the ground.
No, I was just, I don't know. I just figured you wanted to say something today. So never mind, people in the chat. Colt Eastwood's eating burritos. So
I just want to say one thing on this. I know we did kill it, but I just think it's a slippery slope. It's when you're going to get targeting ads in these games, you know? Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. Ads inside the game itself. And it's like, Street Fighter's not like some cheap free to play on your phone. I don't know. It's just weird.
Don't break the seal.
It was a full price title. It's something worth talking about. Maybe, you know, there's a lot of ways you can look at this. We'll kind of lean on the chat for a little moral compass here. Chat, let us know what you think about that. If it's fucked up, one, if it is a very bad idea, you don't want to see this kind of stuff in games. Two, if it doesn't affect you, and we'll kind of check back in a second. Give us some ones and twos, no zeros or any other numbers that we usually get. A Sledgehammer co-founder leaving Activision by the end of this year. My question is, Zalker, do you think maybe he's a little free agent and maybe Microsoft's lure him over?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, we're probably going to hear that he's going to be hired by the Initiative. They've hired every fucking other person. I mean, they're just getting every big name out there that's worked on some of the best games this generation. And, you know, this guy has a lot of experience and seems like someone that's a pretty big freelancer. I mean, we'll see where he's going to go. I hope Microsoft, you know, kicks the rocks on him and see what's going on. But I think he would fit in well with what the Initiative's doing. He's done big games, you know, quadruple A. So
he's the guy who basically, he's one of the guys from Dead Space 1. We always get at least two 69s in the chat, by the way. So good job, guys. You guys met the quota. We got two of those. So yeah, people are generally saying no, that's a no-go. Don't want anything to do with that. And if you're looking at some of the profit margins of some of these games, yeah, I would probably agree it's not necessary. At least for now, it's related to their own content. That's what I will say.
Yep. We're talking about the advertisement now.
Yeah, I'm talking to the chat, ones and twos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
69?
69. Yeah.
Sony exec says that Spider-Man and God of War are evidence that there is a big market and audience for single-player games. Rand, I feel like this is really common sense. These games were great.
Indeed, they were. And it's kind of I thought it was a little shot, as someone calls me on the phone, at Microsoft. Discuss.
Yeah, I actually wrote that down in the topic, so I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't.
I thought it was already
know that by now.
Yeah, I thought we already knew single player games were awesome and we've loved them and played them forever. And they weren't on the downward spiral. They weren't going away. They weren't becoming extinct. I think a better title would have been that God of War and Spider-Man show that single player games are still great.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, they've always been great. As long as they're made well, you know what I mean? And as long as the mode isn't tacked on, I'm all over some kind of multiplayer component in these games as well. I can play Halo single player just as easily as I can play it with 2, 3, 4 buddies, or I can play it online with like 16 or 30. I think options are good. Would a multiplayer mode in God of War or Spider-Man work? Maybe not.
Yeah,
maybe. I mean, I don't know.
God of War multiplayer, everyone's a different color Kratos, and you just throw axes at each other. That's what I want.
I mean,
Rick and Morty style, everybody has an Atreus.
What if it played really good though and was fun? I mean, it could be sweet. I think, as obviously, there's room for single player games. There have been forever, but hey, I don't think it's a shot. I don't think it's a shot at Microsoft so much. It's just kind of doubling down because there was a lot of narrative out there in the community that single player games are dead, and it's all about that online experience.
Mm-hmm. Colt, what were you saying?
I don't even remember what I was saying, but you have to. I think what I was saying is you have to do the single player game well. You can't, like we look back at Quantum Break and Recore. Like those single player games aren't gonna keep single player games alive. Like you have to do a really good job. And I look at Spider-Man and Assassin's Creed Odyssey were like amazing games I played. God of War was amazing. Like 2018 was full of amazing. I absolutely loved Far Cry 5. Like I played tons of really I co-op Far Cry 5. It's crazy. You can have your cake and eat it too.
Well, I'm going to say that I think that single player games are awesome. And don't get me wrong, before I met Dealer and everything, I would tell you I'm a multiplayer first gamer, but since I met Dealer, I would say single player games has been something that I've been focusing on the most. But I would say that the games need to be very well done at the beginning. They can't have day one patches or any like kind of mess ups, because when people play a single player game, it's a personal experience. And if something's wrong, like a pain point, something goes bad, people tend to leave really quick. They don't want to stay. Multiplayer games have a different type of thing where if you have a bad experience with it, you'll walk away, but a buddy might bring you back in and be like, hey man, just give it another shot. It's great. Then you'll play with him because it gives you incentive. Single player games, you need to have a great experience when you launch, because people will walk away super easy and fast if it doesn't have any like motivation for them to get there again because they have that bad experience.
We just had 2 single-player games launch in Darksiders 3 and Just Cause 4. How do you think those games are going to perform? Like, it's easy to point out the obvious success stories with, like, say, Spider-Man and God of War and say, ha, single-player games are the shit, and everyone buys them. But there's a lot of single-player games that really struggle to get any type of traction or audience at all. And in the world of video games, man, if you're not hot today, you're dead tomorrow. Like, we just don't have patience for games to grow and everything else.
Sounds like the name of a hot track.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm just saying, like, as much room, there's a lot of room for single player games, but they do have to be big. They have to be made well, and they need to have a lot of advertising to get people aware of their existence, because a lot of these single player games get slept on, even good ones.
And I think they need to release at the right window. I mean, look at Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Dealer loved that game. A couple other people didn't, as you hear Colt scoff. A couple people didn't.
No, I agree with you on the window.
Yeah, because Rise of the Tomb Raider is one of the best games we've played this generation, and it launched right when Fallout 4 was coming out, all this stuff. It's, these single-player games need to have the right window, and they need to be developed well. I mean, they're very hard to market when you think about, like, what they need to hit on.
Hey, I got to give a shout-out to over 600 people watching this live, guys. We do appreciate it. Hit that like button. Let's try to get to 300 for the end of the show. I will say that Rise of the Tomb Raider did end up selling well past 7 million. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, new developer. People were on the fence before it even came out. Actually reviewed pretty well with the people that liked Rise of the Tomb Raider. Some people, maybe they didn't like it so much. I ended up enjoying it, took my time, explored. Could have been better in certain areas, like a lot of games. But at the end of the day, single player is it's kind of a big deal. And I think Microsoft know that. That's why they're doubling down on all this software. Speaking of, Clobriel, the non-insider insider, was talking about, hey, you'll be playing a new game, a game you played in the last 4 years. You're going to be playing it again soon. We're hinting at production of some kind of older games coming back. And as we talked about before, we know, we know that they're probably working on a Killer Instinct 2. I don't think they're working on a Rise, or Rise would be like impossible, right, Rand? We don't think it's a Rise.
The only two that it potentially could be is Recore and Killer Instinct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people are like, really? But Rise and Quantum Break and Sunset. Well, Microsoft doesn't own the IP to Sunset or Crytek, or Rise, rather.
Yeah.
Remedy just went multi-plat. They're not coming back to doing exclusive work. It's Killer Instinct 2. Let's cut right to the chase. Killer Instinct 2 is going to be around the launch for the Xbox 2 or Xbox Scarlett.
Hell yeah.
Got me hyped.
Which is common sense, because they had put out a survey saying, hey, do you want a proper sequel, or do you want us to keep patching it? And then the patches stopped. We know they're working on Killer Instinct 2 forever now. So we obviously, the non-insider is alluding to Killer Instinct 2.
Plus, would you use Beloved with any of like the games Microsoft has made this gen? I wouldn't really, except for maybe Ori.
I don't know. I mean, they've got some good games, but the ones that
beloved.
When the ones that are beloved, like Gears, we know that stuff's already in development, so. I wouldn't call Sunset Overdrive beloved.
No.
Not enough people supported it, and the people that keep talking about it, I don't ever see them playing it.
And we
Sold
all
as
know
much
you
as Persona 5.
Dealer, you love Quantum Break, right?
Yeah, I gave Quantum Break a 7 back then. I still give it a 7 today. I mean, it is what it is. I didn't prefer Quantum Break at all. I felt like I don't remember any of the supporting characters' names. I don't remember a lot about the game, and I don't feel like it. And I noticed a trend. People that hadn't played certain other games, maybe even on other platforms, don't understand what real good characters are like. Like Rand played Quantum Break before he played Last of Us or Uncharted 4.
That's true.
And he came back from those games and maybe thinking Quantum Break wasn't as good as he thought it was. And that's where I came from, you know?
That's true. Last of Us and Uncharted games are better than Quantum Break. But Quantum Break has sci-fi and time travel, and I'm a sucker for that stuff.
Yeah.
So, hey, we don't sit here. You guys don't come here for us to lie to you. That's just our opinions. We all got our own opinions. I happen to be a big fan of Uncharted, and God of War was great. Spider-Man was great. Looking for Microsoft to invest in some really good narrative when it comes to single player, and I think they're doing that with Gears. That's why I'm so hyped for Gears 5. I still think a lot of people are sleeping on it. The story in that game, I feel like they said, fuck it, the gloves are off. We're taking risks. We got a longer development cycle with a bigger team, and we don't have to spend much of that development cycle building the tech like we did with Gears 4. They have a lot more time. So I'm really, really hyped for that, man. I can't wait. But
2019 is going to be the best year for Xbox in a few years, man.
Since 2016, yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, like Rand said, Killer Instinct 2, most likely the game you can expect around the launch of Xbox 2. And it looks like Microsoft are just building up a storm. They're going to unload a storm of games on someone's face, and it's going to be great to watch. So,
Oh, God.
Someone's face. Wow.
I mean, I don't feel like that was that controversial. Come on.
Yeah,
Hey, we've also got another RDX question, and then we're going to unload another EA access code for you guys in the chat. So Lethal, get that code ready. Shady, go ahead and bring us another question, brother.
Yeah, man. This one comes from Craig Patilano Jr., a.k.a. Pizzle. He wants to know, Red Dead Online, is anyone playing this sucker? What do people have to say about the economy?
Well, I haven't played it, so I don't know.
I played it with my buddy. It was like when the economy wasn't fixed. It was kind of annoying. Had to go through a whole like hour and a half, like learn how to play the game again after I put however many hours into it. It's kind of boring. And then when I got with my buddy, it was a little more fun. We did a couple of missions together, but again, the economy was terrible. He didn't even know the economy was bad until he went and looked, and he just like left the game and hasn't gone back since. So I haven't played it with anybody. He was just like, fuck that, and just left. And yeah, that was it.
So everything's like so expensive, people say fuck it?
Yeah, like it was really bad.
Yeah,
They were aiming towards microtransactions.
Wow, so 2K, hey, Rockstar, I know they're being pushed by 2K to add all these stupid fucking bullshit in the game. Are there any microtransactions in the online portion right now?
Not right now. You can't buy the gold bars yet, but you know that's coming. Like that's that's a guarantee. I think the economy is somewhat broken right now on purpose because it is still classified as a beta, and they have said that they can't guarantee everyone's progress will carry forward with your money earned, your rank, the loot you've bought, stuff like that. They would like to in a perfect world, but they can't promise that. So I think that the economy is whack right now because they just want people playing to get a feel of how it all works. You know what I mean? Like the network, as opposed to get in there and grind out all this gear and then have it potentially go missing. As well as, I mean, I'm a little bit of a fan of some stuff being expensive and taking a while to get and not having the ability to go in and a week later you have everything. It makes it so when your buddy rolls up in the posse and he's got a nice horse and his hat is special and maybe the pants, he's whatever, right? You look at it and you're like, oh my God, you actually spent that much money on those fucking assless chaps? Are you serious? It makes the chaps a little more special than if everyone's walking around in them. No one cares that everyone's ass is hanging out of these things. But when it's rare, it makes it special. I found that happened in GTA when it first did its online. Before the economy got just hacked and everyone was cheating and getting millions, was my friends and I were having a great time grinding up and actually saving up for things. When your friend rolled up in that Porsche, you knew what it took to get it. And then all of a sudden, everyone was cheating and getting all this money, and everyone was rolling up in anything they wanted. And it just killed the value system in that game for me. Everything I had felt not special. I was unwilling to cheat. So when I rolled up in the Lamborghini that I grinded a week for, no one cared because they're already been driving it for a week because they cheated. So I hope that
what are you gonna think when your friend pulls up on his horse that's driving the Porsche?
Hey, well, then I'm wondering, well, how much time did he possibly get to teach his horse to drive that Porsche? How many horsepower does it have as well?
Well, I remember doing a mission with my buddy, and and it took us a little while to do, and I think I got like 55 cents for
Are
doing
you
it.
serious?
Or
Somebody
like
said-
60,
yeah.
like 65 cents or
That's
something.
Red Dead money, by the way. That's old timey money.
Yeah, Red Dead money. But still, I was like, what the fuck?
No, I've
Well, you
heard
get
that
way
from
more than that in
Ashen
the single
Center, yeah.
player. Like you get $40 to $100 or $300 in the single player when
Yeah,
you're
and
not
it's-
even doing a major.
They separate that money though, don't they?
The money is different from the gold. The gold
That's
bars
after it's
you can buy
separated.
stuff. So like the cash, I've heard people say actually isn't a problem if you go out into the world and hunt a few animals and stuff like that. It actually pays out the money decently well.
You find
Or-
$20 to $50 in a nightstand in the single player game. If
That's
you
what I'm saying though. But is that money usable in the multiplayer?
It is, yeah. The money that in the
Okay.
multiplayer that you earn, you can buy stuff with as well. There's a few things that are gated behind gold bars, but most of the time it's the gold bars you can technically, buy it now. That's going to be their go-to real world currency. So you spend a few bucks and get that new hat as opposed to spending $500 of cash in game, which as Zucker said, when you're getting 50 cents here and there, $500 is a lot of money, man.
Yeah, but they fixed it apparently, and a lot of people have started to like it. They did patch it because they got a lot of hate for it. So we'll see what's going on. We'll see how it goes, see if it grows and people actually enjoy it and they add some content to it. Yeah.
There's a lot of content. There's a lot of missions to do with your friends, and the racing mode is a blast. I was playing with my roommate the other night, and it's either you run around and you have to go through the checkpoints in order, and everyone's on a horse. You have no guns, but you run over barrels like Mario Kart. And when you run over the barrel, you can now pull your gun out and shoot off a couple of rounds to kill the other players or their horse. Or there was another mode where you just had to go through all the checkpoints in any order you wanted. And that mode was hilarious because people are just blindsiding each other on these horses everywhere. The physics engine is really just at its finest in some of these multiplayer stuff.
I did that. I actually did one of those. Actually, did one of those with my buddy, and I had a lasso, and all I was doing just ripping people off their horses and not even trying to win the race. And they were getting so mad. Oh, it's hilarious. That was the most fun I've had in that game. And then I just stopped.
Then we saw another mode where everyone's running around and targets are popping up in like the barn house and outside in the fields and stuff. And you have to shoot these targets as fast as you can to try and outscore the other players. Like it's really fun if you're willing to give it, I think, the chance and not going into it thinking that you're going to collect every damn thing in the game overnight. Like there is a grind, and it's best played with friends. Expect to be trolled.
Well said. Wraith in the super chat says he thinks there should be a clean break with the Xbox One X and moving forward. We should leave the base Xboxes behind, the S behind. Just get a clean break and they should announce it at E3. Now, I thought a similar thing, but honestly, I would think that honestly there should be just one more clean break, and that includes the X because of the CPU of the X. The X is not bottlenecked by GPU. It's bottlenecked by CPU. But if they were to do one more clean break with the Xbox 2 being the new base model going forward, then that CPU has so much more life. They could push that so much longer than the Jag cores. So, and that would benefit all games developed on it going forward. You'd be able to code for, at the lowest common denominator, a Ryzen, 8-thread machine. You'd have so much more potential there at the base model moving up. Then you'd have to include some Jag stuff that would work there as well. I just, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure you get what I'm saying. A clean break, one more clean break would really do a lot for the games.
Yeah, I think so. Realistically, if it's going to happen, I think it would happen maybe 2 years into the new console cycle.
Yeah, so I guess we will end up
dealer.
seeing. Hey, Lethal Papa, you got that code ready? Go ahead and drop it. EA Access, first come, first serve. Just copy paste that EA Access code into the site, and there you go. You got yourself some games to play. Good stuff. Good comment, Wraith. We do appreciate it.
I have a question for you, dealer.
Go ahead.
Crashy, what is it? Crashy 497 wants to know if the new Xbox Scarlett will be more powerful than the PS5. And you and D can answer this.
Well, we're actually gonna get to that in our one of our next topics. That's a really good question, Crashy. So hang around. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about that for sure. But first, I wanted to mention Piranha Games, who are responsible for the MechWarrior franchise and some other stuff. Their history isn't the most esteemed, but they do work on MechWarrior, and they've got MechWarrior 5, I do believe, coming out in 2019. Keep in mind their MechWarrior Online was their last one. It was a 68 on Metacritic. I'm sure Mech fans really liked it, but A lot of people didn't really get it, I guess. And well, they're working with Microsoft on something. So they've said they went to Washington several times. They talked to Microsoft several times, apparently. And Microsoft are looking at working with them. And I was thinking, oh, wow, okay, they got this MechWarrior team. They're talking to them. But then I look and see they got MechWarrior Online or MechWarrior 5 coming out next year. It's not a massive team. So I'm like, there's no way they're putting 2 projects in development at once. Maybe either they are partnering with them to get MechWarrior 5 on Xbox, and obviously exclusively, or after MechWarrior comes out next year, they will maybe partner with that team and have them make MechAssault, which is another leak we heard about, MechAssault. But obviously, if their last MechWarrior game got a 68 on Metacritic, that doesn't instill the most faith, right, Rand?
Yeah. Someone DM me. He's like, you need to make a video about Piranha Games. I'm like, who? What? Who's Piranha Games? What do they make? MechWarrior. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like at this point, the rumors are like, who isn't Microsoft buying if they're an independent studio at this point? You know what I mean? It's like they're talking to this people and that group and this group. It's like, all right, Piranha Games though doesn't really excite me whatsoever. But
yeah, I think Rand put it a good way. I think he nailed it right on the head.
Everyone got so sad.
Piranha Games. Maybe it's just because I'm remembering they helped port Duke Nukem Forever to the 360.
Yep.
That classic. Oh, baby.
Oh, God. Yeah, so I don't know. Let us know what you think. I want a MechAssault. I don't give a fuck what no one thinks. MechAssault is one of the things that lured me to the Xbox from the PS2, and ever since then I never looked back. MechAssault was legit, man. Buildings crushing, particles, and looks like trash now, but holy fuck, like for the day.
It was like a far camera third person, right? On the original Xbox, like the camera was back behind you like 100 feet.
Yep.
Yeah, I had it on the original Xbox.
It was so good. It was so fun. You just lost hours in that game.
Yeah, it was really, really good. Really, really, really good. And speaking of really good, Phil Spencer, of course I get a phone call right now. Phil Spencer says that Phil Spencer says that 2019 is going to be a far better year for Xbox fans. He also says that he definitely would not he would hesitate to purchase any kind of studio that's only limiting themselves to one platform, if that makes any sense. So he doesn't want to buy anybody or work with anybody that's fucking only going to develop for just Xbox and Xbox alone, for instance. He wants them to be able to port to PC and work with their server farms and do all kinds of stuff. That doesn't mean PS4, obviously, but go ahead and carry on the conversation here. I got to figure out what's going on here. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of happy that Phil Spencer said that, because if they're gonna tout this whole xCloud and also play anywhere where they have games on PC, I want them to be running well on PC. And one of the games I did play on PC was Sea of Thieves, and it ran very well on there. Forza Horizon ran well on there. So I like that he did that. I like that he's kind of hesitant on getting a studio that's just going to be boxed in, so to speak, to one box.
No doubt.
I like that they're going to be developing for multiple, like PC and Xbox, and we're going to be able to pay for one price, play it on anything. So I think that's pretty awesome. I like having options of where I'm going to play my fucking games.
I think that him speaking like that also kind of gives a little bit of credibility on something like Gears Tactics, making the jump from being a PC exclusive right now to also coming to the Xbox as well in the future, especially with mouse and keyboard support being a thing now with some games. I don't see why that game isn't launching day and date on the Xbox with the PC myself, unless they're going to announce something.
Well, that's what Rod Ferguson talked about that at XO. He said that that Gears Tactics, they want to get it right on PC first before they go anywhere else, because it is a peculiar game. Like XCOM, like if you play Mutant Year Zero, I just started playing that last night. It's run extremely well on the Xbox One X. It's freaking awesome. It's an amazing game. Yeah. But again, I can see how hard. Yeah, no, it's a surprise, Colt. It surprised me of how good it is.
Awesome.
But it's a game that's very peculiar and hard to kind of make. XCOM, I've played the old one on the 360, and I didn't really like it on the Xbox, but I really liked it on PC. I felt like it was worlds different. So that's what I think he's trying to do, is make it where it's killing it on the PC, and then they're going to put the resources to port it. And that's kind of what I think they try to do with Halo Wars 2, that they just made it for Xbox and it hurt the RTS of it, the real-time strategy of it. And when they went to PC gamers were kind of like, yeah, this isn't really like an RTS. I'm going to go back to StarCraft. And that's why I think that's why I think he's talking about, like, have developers develop on multiple devices, PC and Xbox.
I think it also is hinting towards some of these studios that they've acquired recently might have some stuff to release sooner than we all thought. And next year might be that time. And they're just keeping it close to the vest now. E3 is still coming. They got announcements to come. I could see a couple of these studios actually bringing out something for us to play.
I agree.
Out of nowhere.
I got a dealer slides in on his
like 4 times in a row. I'm like trying to make sure things are okay. And then they just didn't call. They didn't answer. So I don't know what's going on. But hey, he also, and I did a video on this the other day where I tried to lure in as many of these Sony guys as possible just to crush them, right? And a lot of people got this, where I'm taking what they're saying, I'm making it into the title, and then I'll put really at the end because that's me saying, really, motherfucker? Really? You think all Xbox One games are going to PS4? So I did a big video on that. Obviously, a lot of people like the video because it's nothing but fact after fact after fact after fact as to why you'll never see PS4 games on the Xbox One. And if you didn't check that video out, basically it happened because Phil Spencer said, eventually Game Pass will make its way to PC and then eventually every device. And people took that as, oh, PS4 is a device. And that's why I said in my video, so is my blender. You know, that definition is not. It's too malleable. So when Phil mentions devices, he's talking about mobile and kind of smart devices like tablets. That's what Phil means by device, because he said this several times before, never referencing PS4. And Sony wouldn't even let it on the PS4, as I explained in the video. So, real quick, anybody want to kind of, if you checked out my video and you kind of have anything else that I didn't cover there that maybe you want to hammer home to?
Go ahead, D.
I just think it's idiotic that PlayStation guys think it's going to be on the PlayStation. It's not. It's so obvious that when he's saying every device, he means like your cell phone, your freaking DVD player, your television.
DVD player.
Like, you got a DVD player?
Anything but the next consoles. And let's just be honest. Do you think that Sony would allow that on their platform? Do you think Nintendo would allow that on their platform? Like,
yes.
Come on.
Maybe Nintendo, but not Sony.
Okay.
I think so.
All right. Maybe you got to argue with Nintendo, but definitely not Sony. And it's definitely something they're not going to do. It's just not going to happen.
I got an interesting question for you guys. Let's say Sony was willing to do it. Would Microsoft put Game Pass and xCloud on the PlayStation if Sony was down to do it?
I hope so these pony bastards can get a taste of Halo and Gears and Forza and realize how good they actually are. I mean, I'm all for games being available everywhere so everyone can try them and turn the fanboy down and just enjoy games for what they really are. I'm on board for that. I think if Sony did allow it, Microsoft should go with it and let these guys make up their own minds.
The reason I say that is I do think Microsoft means they want Game Pass as hold on. They want Game Pass to as many places as possible. And it's like what Dealer said in his video when I said in mine, I don't think Sony's interested in helping Microsoft out. So even if Microsoft went to them and was like, hey, we put this on your device, Sony's just going to laugh at them. But let's say Sony was like open to it. Would you guys be okay with, essentially Halo
I would.
On PlayStation 5, even though it would be streaming version and they had the local version on the console? Because the argument is that if you put those games on PlayStation and Switch, then what's the reason of buying an Xbox console?
They don't care if you buy an Xbox, as you know, Rand. And they don't give 2 squirts of piss if you buy an Xbox. And I used to look at it from that mindset back when I let these people that are constantly arguing, having their little. I don't know, man. There's a lot of people on the Sony side, particularly, that are trying to hold things over other people's heads and not remembering that they didn't have games for years. And these are the same years that they said PlayStation 1, which is funny because my last video, I argued that Xbox to 2018 and explained why it's just my opinion. I don't think it's a big deal to argue about. And I accept and acknowledge the strength of their competitors. And I really loved Spider-Man and God of War and all this stuff. I still argue that for me, Xbox took 2018 because they're doubling down on the things I like. Whereas I only had 2 games over there that I wanted to play all year. And that's just my opinion, though, you know, and I argued that in the video. If you haven't checked it out, go fucking hit the like button twice on it because they're pretty angry over there. But that's the same thing like with the games we have now. I don't necessarily have to have them locked down to an Xbox. I don't. I'll be able to play them on a cell phone in a few years if I want. And guess what? While that may not help them in the fanboy bullet point, pull out your fucking Pokemon card. Let me see all the stats. You know, all those exclusives are gone off there now. They're not exclusive anymore. And that's, you know, that's something you're going to have to come to terms with because it's only a matter of time before everyone does this. PlayStation tried it with PS Now years before Microsoft did. It's just wasn't implemented correctly. Wasn't implemented well. But now you got Microsoft doing Game Pass correctly. They did it from day one correctly, and it's gotten bigger and bigger and better. Then you've got xCloud on its way. It's going to be implemented probably pretty well. And this scares people. But when Sony did it with PS Now, and mobile's the next step for PS Now. Don't be stupid and fool yourself into thinking Sony will not bring PS Now to phones. Because they will.
Oh, they will.
They will. It's a matter of time. And when they do, you will have nothing to say about it. It will be almost the exact same thing. So once more, just remember that Sony did this years ago. Microsoft implemented correctly, in my opinion, from the beginning with some of these things. And Sony are going to try to do this in the future. It's a matter of time.
I just think Xbox is going a little more hard in it. Like, you know, the exclusive or the Xbox first parties are day and date there. But if you look at PS Now, Bloodborne just went on PS Now. So you can play Bloodborne on your freaking PC if you really wanted to without buying a PlayStation. Yep. So you can do all that. And it's just they're going a little slower at it. And maybe because they don't have the tech yet behind it and they're trying to iron that out. But also, like, does Netflix, like you look at Netflix as a subscription, do they care that you're watching Netflix on Xbox or PC or Roku or whatever the hell? No, they don't give a flying fuck because they are everywhere
to watch it on those devices. No, they don't charge you more to go from your TV or your Xbox to your cell phone. It benefits you, the consumer, to be able to play your movies, your games, or you want to play them. And that's what I'm waiting for some of these people, especially some with YouTube channels, to figure out that you benefit from this. But if you're looking at it from the pull out your fucking Pokemon cards point of view, let's do war. You lose. The other guys can be say, guess what? You got to buy my plastic to play my games on that system, which we all have fucking PS4s here, so it doesn't matter. You get my point.
That's what I kept trying to say is that these guys who are saying, well, my game, God of War and Spider-Man, you know, I have to have a PlayStation to have those. And that's for me. And I get to hold that close to me and no one else can have it. Well, first of all, if for $200, anyone on this planet can buy a PlayStation. I did the same thing. I bought a used one. It's phenomenal for 1 to 2 games a year that I'm going to absolutely love to play. But the part that dealers starting to hit home for us is that these guys on the Sony side, they forget that, like, if Sony implements a game streaming service to tablets and phones or smart TVs, these gamers will have more ways to play the games they bought. If they want to pick up their Spider-Man game in the middle where they left off this morning at their lunch break at work in the break room on their phone, they can do that. If they don't want to, they can just play at home. Like, this is where the industry's heading. Game Pass is going to become big. It's going to it'll probably become somewhat of the Netflix of gaming. It's already doing really well. PS Now is really popular, even though you don't hear people talk about it, and it has a lot of problems that needs to be fixed. So guaranteed that next generation, Sony is going to have to double down at the beginning, or by the middle of the generation, they'll be forced to unchain their games from the PlayStation 5 and let people play them where they want.
And not because they're financially forced.
Nope.
It's because the gamers will eventually, not some of the motherfuckers in the comments of this video probably, but some of the smart gamers realize that, hey, I have more options and options are good. I can play this wherever I want. Why is it better for me to be locked to one fucking device? I don't know. So once more, we've hammered that into the ground. I did a video on it. Check it out. It's one of my last ones. And everyone here has already said everything that I said. You know, it's common sense and it's not hard to see. So Sony will never let Microsoft do that. If Sony do that, that's hundreds of millions of dollars a year that Microsoft make off of them. And I have all these things that I say in that video. So if you're wondering why Sony would never let them do it, just check out that video. It's very common sense, easy to figure out. Unlike, the next generation of consoles, we've got some stuff going up here that's actually official. And this is actually really, really cool because, and I gotta I told Zucker earlier, I got to take full credit for this shit because I predicted this shit in June. Colt did a very phenomenal video on it a little over a month ago as well. The Xbox VX. I talked about Xbox 2 leaking for 2020. There were going to be 2 SKUs. Now, Brad Sams, where the leak came from, said that there would be a traditional console and that there would be a streaming box. That's what everyone gets confused when they say you didn't predict nothing. That was in the leak. No, if you watch the back half of the video, I say that there would be 2 traditional versions of the console day one. A lot of you guys are probably getting memories of this in the chat. 2 traditional versions of the console day one with 2 different varying levels of APU power on the GPU side, and they would come in at different price points. So you'd have what is essentially the S and the X, but on day one with the Xbox 2. That video, like I said, is 5+ months old, and I'll link that on Twitter probably when these code names eventually get leaked, because we keep hearing behind the scenes that this is happening. This is happening. Then Brad Sams comes out in his video, who he's been right. He's the one who leaked Halo Infinite and all this other shit. He comes out, says the exact same thing. There's going to be 2 different versions of the Xbox 2, not hard drive sizes, because we all have externals. There's no point in buying, different Xbox 2s with just a hard drive change. We all have externals. It don't matter. It's going to be two SKUs with varying power. One will be cheaper than the PS5. One will be more expensive than the PS5. Obviously, the cheap one will be around the Xbox One X's power. I said in my video 5 months ago, 7 teraflops, around 7 teraflops. But it will have a new Ryzen CPU cores in it. Jeez. And obviously, the one that's more powerful than the PS5 will be more expensive than the PS5. And it will obviously have the Ryzen APU, but with substantially more power, probably around double the power of the base Xbox 2, or just under double. And that's looking extremely capable.
So I like to sum up the affordable console as the visual power of the X with way more 60 frames games, because that CPU will be so much more powerful on that APU.
Yeah, 60 frames in Assassin's Creed Odyssey,
dynamic 4K. Yeah. What I wanted to say was dynamic 4K 60 on so many games, even open world, with that Ryzen powered processor, right, D?
With that processor, I think the resolutions would stay pretty much the same what they're on the X now, but everything would go 60 frames per second,
which is freaking incredible.
Yeah.
And then what would the top tier premium console be for power? What would it be like?
I'm pretty sure it's going to be 4K 60, like native 4K 60. If I had to be a betting man, I would say high graphic settings.
And then you did a video on the PS5, didn't you? The PS5 leaks. So which one will be more powerful, the premium Xbox 2 or the PS5? Ooh, that's a question.
If we're to believe what Microsoft says, and that they're never going to be outpowered again, then we'd have to believe the Microsoft. However, what we're hearing about Navi, and Navi's slowly starting to leak out. We should have more details on Navi in like 3 weeks, but stuff's starting to trickle out now. And it's pretty much going to give you 4K 60 Navi, right? So I would say the PlayStation is going to be 4K 60 as well. So
that's the thing with the Brad Sams leak, is he's saying that Xbox is using Navi as well.
Like, I don't know. Maybe no. Let's just say here, maybe Sony is putting their own little secret sauce on their Navi. So they're probably just doing something a little bit different here, and Microsoft Microsoft is going a different way, or maybe using a higher silicone or something. I'm not quite sure, but that would make sense, because a lot of people are thinking Navi's just going to be exclusive to the PlayStation, not even coming to PC. I had to say no. It's coming to PC. It's the new architecture for sure.
These people really got some. They think, Sony, they locked down an entire AMD architecture. Yes.
And it wouldn't make sense for Microsoft to use Vega, because Vega, as good as it is, and it's going to be better on 7 nanometer. It's going to be a generation behind Navi for sure.
D, what Brad Sams said in his video, which was, I think, it was early last week. He said that the new Xboxes will run Navi 2 for their CPU, and Zen 2 for their CPU, and the Navi GPU. That's what he was saying.
And that's excellent, because I was thinking that
he had heard that Sony was using Navi 1 for their CPU or something. I don't know. I'm not a tech dude, so you guys would have to explain that to me.
A lot of people ask me if I didn't cover this, and I just linked to my old
Zen
fucking video,
1.
honestly.
I don't know.
Okay, so Zen 2 is basically coming out. I did a story on this on my channel, but Zen 2 is basically going to come out in January. We're going to get the announcement of it, and apparently on 7 nanometer, like this thing is a beast. Like it's running like 5 gigahertz, 5.1, 5.2, something that AMD has never seen before. And also it's on a 7 nanometer node, so it's less power consumption. You get a greater performance. It's supposed to be amazing. And to be honest with you, if all the rumors are true, they're in trouble for 2019. I don't know about 2020, but 2019 they're screwed if this is true. Now, if this Zen 2 processor is going to be in the Xbox, the next Xbox, that's incredible. You couldn't ask for more, to be honest.
Well, obviously, D, we don't want people running around saying 5 gig. It's going to be a low power.
No, it wouldn't. No, it definitely wouldn't run 5 gigs in the Xbox. Let's be honest. But being on a 7 nanometer node, because it is smaller, it could still clock pretty high because it's going to create less heat. So realistically, I would say maybe a 4.2, a 4.
I'm gonna guess mid 3 gigahertz on it.
No, it's not going to be 3 gigahertz. Dealer.
I think so. I think around 3.5 gigahertz into
7 nanometer. It runs so much cooler that they won't have to run it at 3. I would say the higher 3s, if anything, the early 4s. It's definitely not going to be like 3.1, 3.2. That I can know.
We will see. Even if they run it at the same clock as the Xbox One X, it doesn't matter. It would destroy the consoles today because the cores are so much more efficient, right? So no matter what it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. I'm just saying you got power draw and all this stuff to consider. All on a little console, heat management, all that stuff. So I would just be conservative with it and say mid 3s. And that's still a monster for a console. You got a minimum of 8 cores and a minimum of 8 threads, with some developers hinting, hey, maybe we'll see 16 threads, meaning some kind of SMT, which would be absolutely nuts for a console. That would be insane. So we will have to wait and see. But the point is, they're definitely going hard on the Xbox too, and this is legit. Like Brad Sams knows people.
Yeah. They're targeting Xbox as well. They're literally targeting everything they possibly can. They're going to go for the streaming console, the price conscious consumer with a streaming box that's going to be like 125, 150 bucks. They're also going to have then 2 offerings of the best possible, most powerful console ever made. That's more expensive than PlayStation 5, but then they're also going to have a cheaper version that's cheaper than the PlayStation 5 that sits right underneath it. They're literally going to come at you from every angle. The power, the price, the functionality, the accessibility with xCloud. They are really just going to hit everyone from every single angle. It's going to be pretty interesting because me and Jez have talked about this on Xbox too. Jez has said that he's heard the similar thing that you're talking about now and that Colt made his video about. I've heard from my own, sources that it's pretty much happening too, that there's going to be 2 traditional consoles, one super powerful and one less powerful than the PlayStation 5, but cheaper. So
you heard it here. Rand confirms I'm a prophet.
Oh my god.
Hey, yeah, because I'm gonna ride this one hard. Motherfuckers like to act like I don't know what I'm talking about. And I tell you what, I did this with the X as well. I predicted all this shit with the X, and it's all there. So
this is why I followed your channel back in the day. You were saying this stuff, and you sound like you know what you're talking about, and then the stuff starts coming out, the leaks, and then the reveals. I'm like, oh, well, look.
Yeah, I mean, no one's 100% right, and I've always admitted anytime I've made a mistake.
98, not bad.
Yeah. Pretty good. Beaner says, you guys make my hour drive home from work so much more bearable. We do appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. And as you heard, we've got some good news for Xbox fans. A cheaper version of the Xbox 2, meaning you can see a price under $400 at launch for a next-gen system. 7 teraflops around, and it's not just 60 FPS. So if you're one of those that's like, I'll choose 4K over 60 any day, don't worry. You're getting more than frame rate here. On next-gen CPU, you're getting better destruction, simulation, AI, terrain, all kinds of stuff that better CPU can bring you. Volumetrics, detail in the world. Essentially, is going to be jacked through the roof.
But dealer, don't tell your Xbox One X isn't going to be useless either, because we all also think that that's still going to be a console that is going to be used going forward.
Yep.
So even if you can't afford, the
base
consoles.
The base Xbox is probably going to be usable.
That's probably for maybe a couple of years or so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, well, keep in mind they're building their fucking xCloud server racks out of Xbox One S's. So the base Xbox ain't going nowhere. No way you're paying to stream new games on their server racks with Xbox One S hardware in it, and the Xbox One S in your house isn't usable with the same game.
Can those Xbox One S server racks run Xbox Scarlett premium games through them? Or they just show us those server racks because
but I would remind everybody that PC is a thing, and PC runs on much lower common denominator hardware all the time. And then you've got guys on 2080 Ti's where the game looks completely different. The scalability is more important than ever now with Xbox, and I think Phil's already alluded to this. You're going to be seeing developers, they work a little harder. They may have to tune up or tune down for another system or two, but at the end of the day, I think they think that extra 40 million install base is worth that. That's worth that work. Instead of starting at zero, developers do not want to start at zero again. It's a big risk.
It also goes what Phil says. They want you to be able to play the games you want with the people you want on the device that you want, which would be, hey, if I'm still on a regular Xbox One or an X, then that's the device. And then you're right. Kind of the whole option.
Just like your music and your movies, Phil Spencer said, I feel like if you buy your game, you should be able to play it where you want and take it where you want. And as a consumer and a customer, like, I think that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I don't have to walk around and say, well, I got a check mark over here and it says I have to have this console to play my game. I mean, how great would it have been to play God of War, Spider-Man at 60 frames on a PC on Play Anywhere, like even that kind of service?
How great would it have just been able to play it on the X? Jesus, the game would look way better on the X.
You know, it's like, I don't know. These are great things. These are things we should look forward to. The little gatekeeper thing, and like, I have this power and I have this, and you know, you're not allowed to play my games. Like, I bought a PS4. We all of us on the panel here have a PS4.
Hey, got to give a shout out to Sir X-Man again in the super chat. He brings up the exclusive Robotech game that was on Xbox. That is the first game I played on Xbox, I do believe. Oh. One of the first games I ever played on Xbox was that damn Robotech game, and it was actually pretty fucking cool. So that's funny you bring that up. Anybody else played a damn Robotech game? Come on.
No, I don't know.
Maybe people in the chat. I don't know. This show's running pretty long. Let me check through here and see if we got anything else we need to. Lethal handed out the other EA access code.
Still a question if you'd like.
What was the bad news for Sony?
The bad news was the Street Fighter stuff that all these guys are freaking out about.
I thought it was like Zalker saying God of War is terrible. My bad.
Yeah, he did not say that. For those tuning in, Rand is a liar and a fraud.
At least I'm not a corpse.
He's clickbaiting it. God, just because he takes L's all the time.
A corpse like Zalker.
If you want to listen to a podcast where Zalker gets decimated every weekend, you can tune into Luca's podcast every Saturday.
I have to tell everyone Zalker's other nickname, because when we're on party chat and we're playing games, like, okay, I'm playing Just Cause 4, so I'm trash. But he's playing Rocket League, so I started calling him Zocker Cars. That's his new nickname.
That's my new nickname. Zocker Cars.
Zocker Cars. Hey, Shady, let's hear that question.
Oh, yeah.
That's good timing.
It's coming from Cybernox, and he wants to know, with 2018 coming to a close, what's our favorite thing that Microsoft has done in the last year?
Ooh, that's interesting.
His favorite thing is the evolution of Xbox Game Pass.
That is...
My favorite thing they've done this year is the emphasis on what we've been asking for over a year, which is more games investment from them. We've always asked for more games on this podcast. We play more games than most podcasts combined, and we definitely want more games. So the emphasis on over doubling their studios is a big fucking deal that they should be commended for, not really fear-mongered about.
Dealer, you stole my answer, dude.
I'm sorry, Rand. Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
I have one. Since Steelers said the games. One thing I really enjoyed was the X enhancements were really front and center for those of us who bought an X. And I even went back and played some X enhanced games that I missed. I had a good time. That really filled out the entire year that already had a lot of good games. So X enhancements for me.
Mine has to be I have to have two things, honestly, is what Dealer just said. And it really, really does emphasize that, hey, remember we were talking about Rice 2 and all these other games that we want sequels to? Well, we can't get them because they don't own the IP. This kind of combats that with the new studios. Like, every IP that's going to be made with these new studios, if we want a sequel, hey, it's actual possibility. And the other one is the evolution of Game Pass. I mean, there have been games brought into Game Pass that really surprised me and are really good. And this December has been the best damn month that Game Pass has seen. I mean,
It has.
all the games that we've gotten, Ashen and then Mutant Year Zero, and then now we're getting Hellblade, Ori, like it's just out of this world, like how much value Game Pass gives us. And I really credit Xbox to that. It's really made gaming a lot better for me personally.
Isn't
How about
Below
you?
coming as well?
Huh?
What's that?
Isn't Below coming this month too?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and
I'm not
Below.
sure if it's Game Pass though. I don't think that's a Game Pass title.
It is.
It
Yeah.
is. Oh
It
man,
is.
whoa, that's awesome. What's your favorite thing in the last year, D?
Same with Dealer, just the acquisition of all these new studios. I have more faith in the company as a whole and the Xbox brand that they're going to be okay when the next gen starts. They're going to have a lot of games, and I think it's good for everyone because it's going to make Sony react too. So they can't rest on their laurels, and I think it's a win-win for all gamers, but especially for the Xbox brand. I don't think next gen we're going to be worried about exclusives. They got 13 fucking studios. Come on.
Yeah, man. For me, it's got to be a trifecta. I mean, the X coming out, not only the enhanced games, but non-enhanced games, man. This machine loads these games fast and plays them smooth. So I'm loving the X. I'm loving the fact that Game Pass has first-party studio games launching day and date. And like Dealer and the rest of the crew here, I love that they doubled up on their studios. That's more games day and date launching in Game Pass, more games for everyone to play, buy, get into the DLC, argue about, bitch about, cry about, whine about, and maybe enjoy. Maybe enjoy. I'm hoping so. I mean, I think Microsoft killed it in the last year as far as getting the image of the brand a little cleaner than what it was.
Oh, and I like that they announced they're going to be at E3. That was nice too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point there, Soccer Cars.
Thank you.
Yeah.
2019 first party for 2019 for PlayStation 4 is really iffy, and I mean, are they really going to like have an event at the end of the year? Because they don't have any release date years, do they, for their big games? Days Gone is on like a little quiet delay or holdout.
You saying there's
Everything was supposed to come. Everything was supposed to come out at the Game Awards.
So Rand, what does
didn't.
PS4 have coming for 2019 besides Days Gone? I think it's supposed to hit before the end of the year. The store says December 31st, which means
No, that doesn't mean anything. We'll
that means
wait
that they're
for an
not sure
official
what to do.
delay from Sony if it does happen. I mean, they have Days Gone, they have Dreams, they have Concrete Genie, but I know that's not what you really want to know. You want to know if one of the three big games is coming out.
Do they have a
this year.
2019 tag to those?
None of those other three games have a date tagged to them. But then again, they
God
can just
of War got theirs like 2 months before.
Yeah, I mean, like they could literally say in March, by the way, Last of Us 2 is coming out in September. And
Yeah.
like, okay, well if that's the case, Sony won again. Because Last of Us 2 is going to be an amazing experience. So I don't know. I'd hold off on saying Sony doesn't have anything just yet.
Yeah.
Because
I don't think it matters if they have anything or not, because if it is revealed that they have no games coming next year, which we know they have at least one, a lot of people would still they swap the goalpost again.
And they're not going to leave the PlayStation for one bad year.
Days Gone is just, it's so uninteresting. Like, compared to their
you know
other
what
three
though?
games.
They could get away with not releasing anything next year
Sure,
and
I
having
guess.
Last of Us and Death Stranding and Ghosts all launch titles for PS5 and just destroy. Like they could get away with that because 2018 was so good to a lot of people. I don't know, man. They could go a couple different ways here.
The 2019 third party, like multiplats, are huge too. So I mean, the has no games thing is so dumb when there's so many big games like that can cover for.
I mean, if Days Gone does, I know you've been kind of pushing the whole Days Gone delay to December thing because of the store.
No.
list.
I was just saying that's what the placeholder.
Right, I know.
means.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
if Days Gone does get delayed to the end of the year, then that's probably the only game coming out from Sony this year. Maybe there was an internal delay, but I don't know. Like I could see Days Gone and Death Stranding releasing this year or next year. I could see Days Gone and Last of Us Part 2 releasing. I can see a combination of those things.
I can see
happening.
Lethal Papa crushing.
I think-
in the chat.
I don't know.
I think the Days Gone thing, Rand, was more about that article that came out from the guy that gave his impressions when he
Right.
played it, and he said,
Yeah, he said it
Days
needed
Gone
work.
is cool. It needs a lot of damn work though, and that's what he said. He's like, it's fun, but it needs a lot of work, and I don't know how much work he could get done by the time it comes out in April. So it might.
I just really quickly, I just wanted to say the thing I liked the most about Xbox was this year was the Game Pass offerings to be, to to give gamers more games to play, especially for those who don't actually play games like Zalker. So it's nice to see Zalker playing some games.
Hey, but you know, when I do play my games like Battlefield, they actually hit my target. Unlike you, you can't do anything. And that's why you play single player games, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Rand's a fraud. Hey, yeah, this is like probably our longest show in history.
Little bitch.
And we do want to thank, we had like well over 600 people here for like most of the show, I feel like. So we do appreciate everybody rocking out with us. You know, at the end of the day, you like what you like, but you know, fuck it. We prefer to play on a platform that some don't. And a lot of people have a problem with that. They can go fuck themselves. That's what I feel like. I like what I like, man. And if I like an ecosystem better than a different one, but still give so much fucking props to some great games this year, like Spider-Man. My review is like over 500,000 views right now. You know, like Spider-Man, I really like that game. I would give it a higher score than the Metacritic. God of War gave it a 9.5. I do all this. I've just been 100 about all this shit the whole time, and still people that will never see this just continue to pretend like we're so crazy, when in fact, we're pretty fucking reasonable. So, yeah, I would argue that maybe Xbox took 2018, in my opinion. That's my argument, due to how much they progressed in assuring their fans that they've got all these studios coming, they're doing all these big things. And a lot of it's stuff I've seen behind the scenes that I can't fucking talk about. Just be honest. But at the end of the day, that's kind of my argument to make. Does that mean that I'm fucking nuts? No, because the same guy calling me insane, like I said, thought Sony won in 2013 and 14 when they didn't have shit. You know, so keep in mind, I think 2015, like Sony had Nathan Drake collection or some shit for the holiday game. And like there was pretty rough there, to the point where Andrew House was admitting it. It's a sparse year. Did they still win that year to you Sony fans? Sure. You probably think they did, because that's your preferred ecosystem. And that's where I'm coming from there. So please, if you haven't checked out my my last video, like I said, go give it a like, because we got some upset guys there. Watch that bitch twice. I don't care. Help it out.
Weird
how some love.
How one, you know, the PS4 really arrived in a big way with Bloodborne, and then mid 2016 with Uncharted 4. That E3, they announced all the massive games that were just now getting on the PS4 and are still coming in the next year or two. That was that E3. That's crazy. You know, there are high and low spots in these consoles, but Xbox had the longer low spot this past year and a half.
Well, they had the most recent low spot.
Sure.
They just happened to have the low spot while Sony was riding high.
Oh yeah.
Yep. It was a lot of good timing there. So like I said, guys, if you rocked out with us tonight, we do appreciate it. You guys are the best. Links down below. I got some shit down there for you to click on, check it out. Giveaways, sponsorship. We got opportunities for creators and stuff on Patreon. That stuff goes a long way. You guys just showing up every week goes a longer way. Share this where you can. Hit that like button, very importantly. And we're going to get into some outros. This is probably our first ever 2-hour show. Yeah, so I feel like it was actually crammed with actual conversation.
Yes.
And, you know, hey, it is what it is. We do appreciate it, guys. Like I said, hit that like button. We get into some outros. Starting with Rand. Rand got corpsed pretty hard the other day. We'll leave Rand alone.
Even though I was right, though, but we'll let that one slide. But thanks for having me on, Dealer. I just wanted to mention that if you want to win some games, posted a giveaway. 3 winners. Big grand prize is 1 year of Xbox Live Gold, 1 year of Xbox Game Pass, and 50 games.
Yeah.
Second place gets 30 games, and third place gets 20 games. So it's on my Twitter if anybody wants to enter. And I have a question for you guys, okay? So IGN tweeted out that they won't be getting below review copies, so they're not going to have a review at launch.
Oh.
However, IGN has below nominated for Best Xbox Game and Best Action Adventure Game for the year. But yet nobody's played it. Interesting.
So
is it
it's
not?
a preemptive nomination.
Yes, the preemptive nomination. You know, I just find that kind of funny. But anyways, moving on. Thanks for having me, Dealer. Love the show. You guys are all awesome on the panel.
No problem, Rand. You do a great job. You're one of the best, most informed people in the community. You're a great guy. Hey, Cedric H in the chat, super chat says, great panel and show as always. Do appreciate it, brother. Wraith up there. RDX, yeah. We have a ton of truckers and stuff to watch, man. I don't know what it is. I think every podcast probably does. I'm telling you, like podcasts, if you're cleaning the house, if you're at the gym, like whatever, podcasts are legit, bro. I'm starting to learn that myself. So my girl don't pick up shit. So, you know, do a little bit of pickup and do a little bit
You have the robot vacuum though.
I do got the robot vacuum and the
Picking up
mannequin
socks.
hand. I'm gonna attach the mannequin hand to it and have a little bit of fun with it. So, hey, Colt, this is all just jokes. Jeez, people act like you really like this. You know, it's just jokes. Colt, what you been playing, buddy? Where you been?
Just Cause 4. It's probably one of the ugliest games on the console right now, but it's really fun and the explosions are fun. While we were doing the podcast, my PC shipped, bro. Just like that. So I'm excited. Yeah, it's coming. So yeah, you can find me at Colt Eastwood on Twitter and Xbox. And just if you have a question, just ask me. I'll look it up. I'll Google it.
Yeah, that's the best way to find us and really talk to us too, because I really do respond to like every message on Xbox. I get all kinds of messages like, you responded. Yeah, and it's a voice message because I don't want to fucking type. So I get like 50, 60 messages every couple of days. I'll go through them and I'll voice message because, you know, obviously it works for both of us and people know it's really me instead of some fucking fake account or something.
Your assistant.
Yeah.
Dealer, would you like me to respond to this? Yeah, just tell him it's 6 teraflops. I mean some hot wings.
Hey, Shady, what have you been playing? Where people find you?
Oh man, this last week I can't get enough of Battlefield 5 online. I am on these fields putting dudes in the dirt left and right. It feels good. Top of the leaderboards, getting best squad. I like the game a lot, man. And for my indie side, I've actually been playing Alpha Planet or Planet Alpha. Yeah, Planet Alpha. It is eye melting. Wow, it's like a little juzzler, a jumping puzzler, you know, kind of like Limbo-ish. You trial and error, but I highly recommend it for everyone out there with HDR 4K TVs. It's beautiful. I am So Shady on Twitter at The Sesh Empire. On Xbox, I'm just So Shady. You can find me here every Tuesday on RDX. And coming up on the 21st, I will be on Mr. Boomstick XL's Christmas special. He apparently has a whole bunch of goodies to hand out to the crowd, so I hope to see everyone there.
Santa Boom handing out a bunch of presents. Hey, Zalker, what have you been playing, bud? And where can people find you?
I've been playing a lot of Battlefield 5, a little bit with Shady too. He's not top of the leaders when I'm there. Cough. And I've been playing a lot of honestly God of War. I've been playing that a lot. And Mutant Year Zero. Started that last night and couldn't put it down. Played a few hours until the late at night, and it was just really good. And Zalker Cars, of course, obviously. But yeah, everything's been going good for me. Channel's growing pretty nicely, you know, thanks to the community, thanks to Dealer, you know, and Cole.
I got a plug. You guys who have asked or wondered about Microsoft Rewards, go to Zucker's channel. It's and watch his latest video from this week. It's a couple in about how to get Xbox Live for free. It's like a really cool 8-minute video. Breaks down how to get the most points every day, like the way you're supposed to, and just like it's really cool. So go watch this video.
But apparently you are able to earn more than 20 points a click.
Yeah, it's really good. And so, like, you know, the channel's been doing good, you know, all that because the Dealer and Colt, they've been awesome, you know, helping me out. And, you know, Rand gave me his spreadsheet of clickbait titles, which was really helpful. Thank you for that, Rand. That was awesome. And you guys can find me on Twitter at Zalker87 and go to my channel, Zalker87. And yeah, it was an awesome panel, everybody. And everybody in the chat was great. Good time.
Yes, Zalker. Yes. So yeah, thanks guys for checking us out. Like I said, check out the links down below. Patreon, we got Twitter link, and if you want to find Zalker's video and you can't find him on YouTube, just go to mine or Colt's Twitter. It's one of our last things we retweeted. Also, like I said, check out my last video. I got 9 hours of work in that bitch. So go check that out. It's 16 minutes long, yeah, but you know, go make, I don't know, fucking
feels like 8.
Yeah, it really doesn't feel like it's that long. A lot of editing, a lot of stuff.
It's got some funny,
very well done video.
Yeah, funny little clips in there. Like he just shoves a little funny little crap in there.
Larry went over there and smacked the shit out of some people.
Yeah, Larry is a hit.
But we do appreciate it, guys. Like I said, support everybody here. We are.
D. Wait, D.
Oh, hang on. I forgot D. Damn it! It happened.
I thought I was important. I thought I mattered.
You do matter, bud, but you're just so goddamn quiet. I thought you died.
D's like the original RDX, man.
Well, I've been playing Red Dead Redemption. I actually got back into it last night. And,
I thought I mattered.
Such a good game. And also, I've been playing Devil May Cry. I know it's just the demo, but I've been playing the heck out of that thing. It's so beautiful. It's good to see actually Capcom come back and make a great looking game, man. Honestly, tell you, I'm having so much fun with that little demo.
It
I
does
actually
look good.
I actually posted some HDR footage on my channel, so you guys can check that out at dbatch and at Twitter at d_batch. All right, thanks for having me, Dealer.
D is one of the few people on YouTube that's actually putting up HDR YouTube videos. So
Yeah.
check out D's stuff. And yeah, I like I said, I'm multitasking shit, and sorry, it happens. So
Before we go, I want to say real quick to everyone that's not catching the show live, maybe leave a comment in the comment section, man. I enjoy coming back throughout the week and reading what you people have to say. Ask us questions, just comments in general, critique, whatever it is, man. Just keep it civil. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to be savages out here, but
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing or hearing from you guys.
yeah, it's always great, and I'm always looking through the comments too. Whether or not I reply, sometimes there's reasons, sometimes there's not, but I'm always checking out and seeing what everyone's saying, and I am doing better at getting to comments as well. If you guys notice over the past several videos, so starting to get so many comments on a lot of videos, it's hard to keep up. So we do appreciate it. We are getting the fuck out of here. Have a great night.
Later, everybody.